Okay. Are we live? Looks like we're live. Maybe. There we go. All right. Good. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance II. All right. Well, let's get back into things. We have some quests from last time to pick right up in. Man, that is a gorgeous view. Hey, by the way, on the note of the gorgeous scenery in this game, from Trotsky Castle here, especially, I've been seeing a lot of people online in fan groups and things. I've been posting pictures side by side with screenshots of places, especially places like Trotsky Castle, or the remains of Trotsky Castle, because some of it is still there. I mean, obviously, the Crown and the Maiden are still there, the mountains. But there's still some walls and foundations and things. Apparently, there is, I guess from this view, there is a little house. It's right over there on the left. That is basically like a little visitor center. You can still see like this. A lot of this is farmlands. A lot of this is still forest. It's so cool. It's so cool how much attention they paid to the details of replicating this part of the real world in the game. This little slice of history from 700 years ago, give or take. 600 and something years ago. 600 something years ago. Whatever. A while ago. Some time ago. Relatively recent, but compared to some other times. Oh, excuse me. I need this pot of coffee I've got. Not a pot per se, but my nice, 32 ounce or whatever this is. No, I think this is 24. I don't know, it's big. It's a cup of coffee. Well, I'm clearly getting exhausted, but let's go chat with Hans when he wanted to talk to us.
It was a hard bloody day today, eh?
I really need to wash.
I swear, I don't know how many more times we're going to have to change sides before luck smiles on us.
Look on the bright side. We survived. And that's the main thing, right?
Why am I blurry?
I hear we're going back to Rattay tomorrow.
Great. I'll be glad to see the back of Trotsky and fucking von Berghoff once and for all. Though I'd rest easier if he was dead. I was humiliated, ambushed, wounded, and nearly hanged, all because of him. Just because I was trying to do the responsible thing.
You did what you could. It's just that circumstances turned against us.
Exactly. Thank you, Henry. Even Hanush will have to admit our mission couldn't have succeeded under the circumstances. Either way, I'll never forget this little trip of ours.
Same here. Al dentes fortuna jivat.
Ha ha ha! Exactly. Well,
We
now it's all
are
over.
so Nick. We are about
So what
to
do you
get out
say
of Trotsky.
to rolling a few dice together?
If you have anything to bet with, my lord.
Don't worry about me.
If you want to call it the
What about
beginning,
you?
sure.
Aren't you completely skinned?
I have an obscene amount of money. I have like 15,000 groschen or something. For at this point in the game, I have way too much money. But yeah, so Nick is saying, is this still at the beginning? I mean, in a sense, sort of. But I've also maxed out several of my combat and non-combat skill levels. As I mentioned, I have like 15,000 or so groschen. And I have put in, this is what, the 17th, 16th, 17th stream? I could check the title, but whatever. Each of which has been about 3 hours. So that's, I mean, do the math. That's nearly 50 hours of gameplay. And we're probably tonight we will be leaving Trotsky. I love these games, this one and the previous one, so much for just the sheer ability to get lost in things. It's a lot. It reminds me of Skyrim in that respect. Not in a lot of respects, but in that respect at least, certainly. Because that was, I mean, I'm sure a lot of us remember that. Especially people within a few years of my age remember when Skyrim came out in 2011, which is like 14 years ago now, which is insane, but that's what it is. That like millions of people dumped dozens and dozens of hours into getting nothing accomplished, right? Just because it's that sort of richly textured game world. Though I will say, this game does not have the kind of just sort of mundane and repeatable quests and tasks and things that something like Skyrim did. But honestly, I don't miss it. I kind of like that kind of thing sometimes. But also, a game like this, where every quest, every interaction is basically carefully hand-designed. Just very nice. Well, Imp said, make sure that I'm not distracting you overly much from getting your work done. But I can distract you a little bit. Good evening.
Thanks for your concern, but I still have a few groschen.
A few.
Maybe not for long.
A few.
Enough talk. Let's let the wings of our Fortuna.
All right, let's play
carry
dice.
us on.
I'm gonna drop. I'm gonna bet what 2,000-3,000. Oh, I'm sorry. I had way more than I thought. I have 24,352.4 grosh. God. Okay, I'm not gonna need money for a while in this game. I don't think. I will say that is one of the issues that a lot of people were having with the game, is that the game economy is just completely, it's just borked from the beginning. It does not work. Because, look, I get it. Because even at this stage, this was more true in the earlier Middle Ages. But even at this stage in the early 15th century, cash money, like coinage, was not the most common medium of exchange. Barter and trade goods were still in much more common use. Most people did not have large amounts of money. Like, the idea that you would carry around 24,000 coins. Think about that. Think about a roll of quarters. And a quarter is actually a relatively small coin, historically speaking. Typically, a coin, a groschen, would, I think, be an ounce of silver. But think about like a roll of quarters, right? A roll of quarters is $10. That's 40 coins. So 40 coins. Think about the heft of 40 coins, and then think about what it would be like to carry around 24,000 coins. Like, please, somebody go to the bank. Go to the bank and just do this for YouTube, please. Just withdraw from your account. Your I don't know, like, what would that be? $6,000 in quarters. God, I'm sorry. I'm just tickled by this. I always find this hilarious. This sort of thing.
Come on then. Show us what you can do. Unless you're playing for the first time.
How? No, that's impossible. I've played dice with you many times before, Hans. What do you want about? Yeah. Oh. There we go. I won.
Kurva! God's holy britches! How come I always lose so disgracefully?
Because I cheat disgracefully? No. Because you play so deplorably?
Oh, right, that's it. All the blame is on my
You didn't
head
even
again.
get to roll.
Come on, come all. Lord Capon of Perkstein is on trial again. It's been quite a while since I was last on the gallows.
And you drew quite a crowd last time, eh?
Oh, my God. Oh, what a disgrace that was.
Oh my gosh,
Well,
you're doing...
it's one way of catching attention, though.
No, that's right, you're doing Greek.
I'd rather catch the
grammar
attention of a
stuff.
local wench. Aye. Wine, women, and song. All our problems began the day I abandoned that simple philosophy of life.
Anyway, well, Saint Jerome pray for you.
You want to enjoy life again? So, back to the original plan.
Indeed. But I might just have learned something after all.
And can I hear this great revelation of yours?
I have arrived at the conclusion that a bad day is just a bad day. And it doesn't mean your whole life is fucked up. And also, things always look better in the morning. The sooner I lie down, the better chance there is of nothing else fucking up today. So, I shall bid you good night, my friend.
Not a chance, you idiot.
Who are you
Right, well.
calling an idiot?
Good night,
Only
Hans.
an idiot would waste bandages on those high-born fuckers.
They're injured, just like our men.
I need a trough to wash my everything. Hold on. There's one down here, right? Can I go out there? Yeah, okay, good. Good. Yeah, that's important. I am still an absolute freaking mess. Why? Is it a plot thing? I bet it's a plot thing. Anyway, what's her face
Are you
is arguing over
completely
here.
stupid? Let me see them.
Go
Florence.
and take care of our men.
Enough! What's going on here?
And what's it to you, eh?
I've been told not to treat those wounded prisoners in the cellar.
Keep your nose out of this, mate.
Who are you talking about?
They brought in 2 noblemen who survived the massacre. They call one of them Littlehead.
Herman Littlehead.
Aye, that's him. He took a good thrashing, and these 2
Oh,
won't let me
one of the
treat
knights
him.
from...
Shut your trap
Burgos.
and
Okay.
don't stick your nose where it doesn't belong.
I'm afraid I have bad news. Those prisoners need treatment.
Of course. Sir Michael was right.
Exactly. He said you Trotsky folks are nothing but trouble.
First of all, I'm not from Trotsky. And second... These 2 are noblemen. And if they survive, I reckon you'll get a fine ransom for them. But maybe
It is
they'll
essentially
survive
how
anyway.
warfare worked at this period.
It's up to
so-
you.
One of them is bleeding. If he doesn't get some help, he'll soon be with the Lord.
Bloody hell. What do you think, Pashko?
Fine. Let Clara take care of them then. But don't waste your precious time with them, all right? Our men have priority.
That's fair too.
Let's
honestly.
go, Jakey. We've got more important things to do.
Your professor is a little different than what you're used to. She seems to be probably on the spectrum and speaks with the exclusive vocabulary of a PhD. It isn't hard to understand, but I do tend to tread carefully not to slip into the common tongue. Yeah, no, that's actually relatively normal in terms of academics and how we sort of think, how we talk, that sort of thing. I'm gonna close this. Why'd you just leave the door open? What's that about, Clara? Just let him go?
Thanks for sticking up for those prisoners. Those poor souls are in rough shape.
I mean, yes. Being laid back and cool, whatever, I guess it also might depend. I mean, there's a lot of code switching that can happen, right, in an academic setting, but a lot of it too is just that a lot of the vocabulary and the terminology and even the sort of academic cadence becomes either an intrinsic part of oneself when one is in academia and when one is used to speaking in that way, especially in a classroom context, or if it's not internalized to that significant extent, it could also be case dependent or situational. If you're in an academic context, it's very easy to fall into that way of not just talking but of thinking as well. Sure, I talk a bit more casually here on stream than I would in the classroom, but I think, broadly speaking, especially if I'm thinking and talking about academic topics or the topics of my academic research, I tread into jargon and into a sort of more formalized way of discussing things relatively easily. Again, I think it's a sort of natural psychological code switching. That's what it's called. Or maybe she's just a bit on the spectrum. Nothing wrong with that either. Who knows?
I just stood up for my friends. Besides, I would have missed Herman's jokes.
But our people will think you're a traitor.
I would have been more of a traitor if I'd left those two to their fate. By the way, thanks for taking care of them, Clara.
It's not like I had much of a choice. I wasn't going to let them suffer.
No, Henry, stop it. Not again. Not again. Not falling for your wiles, woman. Sim says, I think there's something calming about the professor saying, this concept is fucking bullshit, but we have to learn it anyway, so let's get through it together. I am seldom that candid in class, at least. But I do relatively often say that sort of thing or convey that sort of message, but in a different light. It's not so much that we just sort of have to get through this together as part of the coursework or whatever, because I tend to write my own syllabi. I've been sort of granted the luxury of being able to do that by basically everywhere I've taught, being able to, if not write my own syllabi, at least heavily customize my own syllabi to a pretty significant extent, with one exception, which I can talk about if you want. And so if there's bullshit in there, I put it there. And it's usually there so we can point and laugh at it together as a class. By which I mean, so we have something to argue against and criticize. And to see the contrast with the good sense of the sorts of things that I'm more prone to teaching.
Life is just a struggle. There's not much we can do about that. But Herman is tough as old boots.
You men,
the cat?
Can't you resolve anything without resorting to violence?
I only fight when I have to. And each time, I can only wish to have nearby some girl with healing hands to put me back together
Teresa.
after.
Flattery will get you nowhere. Sorry, but I have too much work to do. We can talk later.
Okay.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Like what? Can you even do anything other than wave that stupid piece of steel around?
I'm sorry, Clara.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make myself useful.
There are a lot of injured here that probably won't survive the night without help.
Angel is
I
over
hope
there
you
just
can do something for them.
owl.
I know a bit about potions, and I've seen my fair share of serious injuries.
In that case,
I need to sleep
thank
first,
God you're
though.
here. I'll go and prepare some more medicine and make a round visiting the injured. In the meantime, you go to the lower castle. There are more men there who need to be treated.
What are their names?
Mark, Zverk, and that poor Godsleek. You'll find medicine and bandages in the chest in my cabin. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to help you.
Okay, well, I guess I gotta do that before I go to... Wait. Huh? How did I gain more energy from that? I mean, whatever. I'm happy for it, but still. I'm not as tired anymore. That's nice, somehow. Wait, what? How do we get downstairs? Oh. This downstairs, right. Okay. No, that's the front gate. What?
Are you the local blacksmith?
What do you want from me? We didn't herd sheep together, so bugger off.
I'm sorry, what?
What the hell's the matter with you?
If you don't stop staring at me, I'll kick your ass, you fucker. For my brother, too.
What?
Wait, what happened to Steer? Don't tell me he died in that ravine too.
Bloody hell. Did you know him?
The last time I was here, he spoke fondly of you. He was a blacksmith, like me.
Aye. He knew his way around a smithy. Unlike me. Wait, you're a blacksmith?
Aye. My father was a blacksmith.
Ours only drank, and then he drowned. But look,
Oof.
if you're a blacksmith and our ally now too, I reckon you could give me a hand with something. What do you say?
What's the matter, Bull?
Apart from having a barrel full of scrap here that's supposed to be repaired by tomorrow, there's absolutely fuck all going on.
As a blacksmith myself, I don't envy you at all.
Well, you came at just the right time then. I could use a hand here. There's a pile of iron in that barrel over there that needs fixing up before we leave.
Not sure exactly what you need me to do, but sure.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
You'll really help me. Great. The lads would be bloody delighted if you fixed up their weapons.
Okay. What do I need to do, though? You're not doing a great job there.
This is sharp enough as it is.
First test at a trick question I actually got right. My teacher suspected I was cheating. I only knew it because I always plays the Byzantines in Age of Empire. The work within Greek is meta. The word in Greek is meta. I knew it. She was like, "We never learned that." Well, I know what meta means. It means behind. I know that because I read Aristotle. I know the story about why it's called metaphysics. Oops. Ooh. Yes, knight's longsword. Yes, please. All right, let's. Anything I need to sell? I think so. No.
I'd like to discuss...
Well,
Is this
120.
enough?
you really want...
There we go.
Thank you,
125.
sir. And come again.
Oh. Byzantines in the game say meta su when you order them to do something, which means I'm with you. What? Really? Huh. I guess I didn't realize that. Try to get new allies. Okay. Blood supplies. Help the wounded. Help Bull in the forge. Repair the broken iron junk tossed in the barrel. What broken iron junk are you talking about exactly? Anything? Is it stuff up here, or what is he talking about? Crossbow. That's not it. I don't know what I don't know. Is it unethical for a professor to put a trick question on a test to try and root out cheaters? No, not at all. I don't think so at all. What is he? What am I supposed to be doing? Well, first of all, Oh, jeez. A lot of stuff. Okay, what barrel is he talking about exactly? Is it this? Oh, this. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Okay, this is all he needs me to do. He just needs me to sharpen things. Okay. Now, honestly, that is a relatively clever... That's a relatively clever tactic. Put a question on that is not part of the grade, right? But one that
Any better than this?
no student realistically should have an answer to. You know, I think that's actually kind of clever. Now, of course, you do run the risk of somebody like yourself having outside knowledge. And while that is uncommon, it is entirely possible. But you can talk through it, right? Hey, how did you know what that means? And you have a story behind it, right?
I repaired those broken weapons.
So it's there we go. So it's not really a problem,
That
right?
would have taken me a week.
Doesn't turn into a
Actually, I reckon I couldn't even do it in a year. Oh,
You
my hands
couldn't
just ain't no
sharpen
good for it. All
3
they're
weapons
good
in a
for
year,
is
okay.
bashing people's skulls in.
Okay, sure.
What about you? Do you like fighting?
My hands prefer foraging over killing. Here you go, Bull.
Bloody hell. Thanks, mate. If you ever need anything, just let me know. And this is for you. I hope it comes in handy.
I need to find where my chest is. Ooh, arrows. I don't need arrows or scattershot. Thanks, though. Okay. Now what? Ah, sweet. Little machicolations. In this this wooden fortification, but still very cool. All right, where do I go to help the injured? Load supplies out there. Sleep. Ah, the injured are down there. Okay, that makes sense. I'm gonna go move the supplies real quick while I'm over here. So I'll say that the only syllabus that I did
Hey,
not...
Why are you gawking at me like a deaf cunt? I should have shut you right off. And don't pretend you can't hear me.
What?
There's no reason to argue. We're both on the same side.
Now.
The same side? Are you yanking my pistol? Your lot killed many of our good men this morning. I feel like punching your teeth in.
What happened wasn't my fault. I'm just an ordinary blacksmith's son. And I serve Lord Capon, just like you obey your Captain Zizka. We're both just ordinary commoners. So why break each other's bones for our lords, eh?
Haha. You've got a mouth on you. But you're right about that. What do us commoners care for noble horses, huh? Well, take the sacks next to the cart and throw them up. Let's get this over with.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, the other relevant, the thing I was talking about, right? The only course I have taught that I didn't heavily customize the syllabus was honors acquisition of knowledge at USF. It was with the honors college, where I basically had control over half of the syllabus, because how it worked was. Because it's an interdisciplinary course, and that means they have professors from all sorts of different disciplines. that functionally means that you have a core, essentially, philosophy curriculum.
I tell you, man, you certainly are a hard worker. Let's forget all that shit from before, huh? It's all good. What do you say?
All right. I was happy to help, but you owe me one.
Of course. If you ever need anything, let me know.
But yeah, the general idea is that because there is this, because it's the broad interdisciplinary course, and it's all different majors and all sorts of things like this, right? The idea is that you take all of these various different professors, and you have each of them teach from their area of expertise, but keep teaching around a core curriculum of the course. So it's something like where each week there are 2 classes. There's a Tuesday and a Thursday, or a Monday and a Wednesday, or whatever, right? And for the various classes, for the various weeks, one of the classes is set. It's set by the sort of master syllabus, and the materials are set by the master syllabus. Like everyone learns the same thing. Everybody teaches the same material. But then the other one, usually the Thursday or the Wednesday or whatever, is set by the instructor, and it's meant to kind of cover the same topic, but from a specific disciplinary perspective. That is that's going to sort of expand upon the main idea that was covered the previous class, which was a really cool way of setting up the course. I thought I really liked. I enjoyed teaching it a couple of times. I did. Oh, they're up. They're up there. Where are they? Where are they? Oh, here they are.
At least somebody fell asleep. You may not be dead, but you don't look all that great either, Kozlik. All right, let's take a look at you. Christ, I have to change that stinking bandage on your leg, and there's likely something wrong with your head too. This isn't good.
Okay, craftsmanship.
I'll take a look at your head. That blood in your hair isn't yours, but you've got quite a fever.
Okay.
Let's take a look at that wounded leg of yours. Oh, bloody hell. That bandage stinks. I'll have to treat it properly. I should take a look at his belly, too. Nothing serious. Just a few bruises. It doesn't look like he'd have any internal injuries. Maybe some kind of potion would help. Aqua Vitalis or an antidote could help him. But I still have to treat him. Alright, I think I know what I need. I'll clean and dress your wound, but I'll have to cauterize it, or else the gangrene will kill you. Maybe it's for the best that you're sleeping. At least you hold still.
Not when you
Let's
put a
have
hot
look at
poker on his leg.
I have to change his bandage. I'll just tighten it a little here. There we are. Tear it off, tie it up, and we're done. That looks good. And that takes care of the bandaging. I could use a potion for that fever.
Do I have a fever tonicum? There we go.
All right. This should help. I'll lift his head up a little so he doesn't choke. He didn't drink much and fell back asleep. Oh well, what can you do? Well, that's that.
That's it.
I did all I can. The wound is clean and freshly dressed. You'll soon be better, God willing.
Okay, good. Good. I guess I didn't need to replace the bandage. Okay.
Where did they wound you, Mark?
I'm all right. I just have a headache. I always walk away on my own 2 feet.
Really?
You're talking bollocks. Let me take a look at your wounds.
I'm just really tired. I need some sleep. Leave me alone and go and treat someone else.
You threw up and you got a bloody wound on your left leg, and you're talking nonsense. I'll take a look at your head. It could be a concussion.
Oh, come on, I'm fine. I'm just a little tired.
Is there a cut under all that blood on your head? You've got a cut and some bruising. You took a hard hit to the head, didn't you?
What do I know? It was one hit after another. It all just blurred together.
I see you've got a cut on your leg.
Aye, but that's nothing.
It could get infected. It'll have to be treated.
It's not nothing in these conditions. I gotta think of what potions I have, because I don't know if there's an alchemy station here.
Maybe a strong elixir would do the trick.
Is that really necessary?
Even a healing potion isn't a cure-all. I'll still have to treat you properly.
Come on, I'm fine. Don't waste your time on me.
Hey, once again, even Henry's sword has the single point of suspension. I was talking about this last week with Godwin's sword. That's odd. It's very odd. I don't think that's period appropriate. Is it? I thought longswords of this period, maybe it was a later development that they had 2 connection points, like one where that one is, and then one a bit further back. Like see how there's 2 cords, basically. There's 2 belts that go from the sword hilt, the sword scabbard to the belt. I think more typically those would connect at 2 different points on the belt to provide a more stable suspension. But maybe that was a later development.
I reckon I know what's wrong with you, Mark. I'll clean and bandage your wounds, but most importantly, don't fall asleep, Mark. You've got a head injury.
Ah, come on, don't be silly. I'm perfectly fine. I'll just take a little nap and I'll be right as rain.
I'll try to treat you.
You sure about that?
I'll clean that wound for you.
Schnapps!
This will sting a bit.
Christ.
Not an ideal method for
Good.
cleaning a wound, but it'll work.
That's that.
It'll do the job. Strong alcohol.
I'm going to dress your wound. I'll just wrap it around here and tie it up here.
Sakra. Be careful.
Finished. It's as good as it'll get.
Not even worth mentioning.
Okay.
I could use some sort of potion.
Said, Aqua Vitalis, right? Ah, God. Maybe painkiller. Best I can
This will
do.
put you back on your feet. Guaranteed.
Not
I'm
guaranteed,
fine,
but
really.
no.
I reckon we're done here. I treated you the best I could.
Aye. So you did.
I cleaned and dressed your wounds, but you have a concussion.
I know. I could really use some shut-eye, but I don't have any shoes. Sorry.
Excuse me?
Starting nonsense. But that's the concussion talking. Hopefully it'll wear off soon.
Yeah, please do not go to sleep. You will die. You will die. And then there's one down underground, I guess. Down here. Ooh. Zverk.
I came to treat you. What happened to you?
I took a blow to the ribs, and my right leg hurts like hell.
What'd you do to your right
I'm
leg?
fine otherwise.
What'd you do to your
Let me
leg?
take a look at your wounds.
Just be careful, all right? I'm aching all over.
Don't worry, my friend. I'll just take a peek. And here. Aye, yes. You've got a bruise on your chest and some dried blood.
That doesn't sound so bad, does it?
No, but you also have a pretty swollen ankle.
And what can we do about that?
I don't know yet. I'll have to take a closer look at it first. Let me have a look at your chest. Your ribs aren't just bruised. You've got a gash as well.
Ooh.
And what about it?
It's not too serious. I'll just have to clean the wound before bandaging it. Otherwise, you could get an ugly infection.
Okay.
I'll take a look at your foot. It's quite swollen.
How bad is it?
Nothing too serious. You just sprained your ankle. If we bandage it up nice and tight, you should be on your feet by tomorrow.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it.
I could give you some sort of potion,
You know potions too, do you?
but not even a chamomile potion can fix everything. I'll have to treat you as well.
Chamomile potion. There you go.
I'd appreciate it, lad.
Okay.
All right. I think I know what's wrong with you, Zverk. Your ankle just needs to be bound. But I'll also have to clean, stitch up, and bandage that wound on your chest. A buck's blood potion would do you good. Or at least some chamomile for your ankle.
Let's see if I have buck's blood.
It sounds like I just might pull through. But a drink would really hit the spot. I'm thirsty as hell. Could you get me something?
Let's get to it. I'm gonna treat you.
Perhaps.
All right. Do what you have to. Just make it quick.
Okay,
I'll
wound.
clean that wound on your side, otherwise it'll fester.
Is it that bad?
Aye. Gangrene is pretty bad.
Well, Angel's here, and now she's quiet. I don't... Oh, no.
Only... I don't...
But you'll
I'll be right back. Nope. I need... Nope. Beer won't help. I need a strong liquor of some kind. I don't know where I'm going to find it, but let's look around, shall we? I'm looking for schnapps. Does anyone have schnapps? Or something? Ah, hey Grace, how are you doing? Message from Kate Breton tonight. Well, hello, Kate Breton. Tell your surroundings we say hello. Rakesh. Okay, so I need more alcohol, and I need... that'll work. Vitalis might help. Bandages, that always helps.
Greetings to you two.
That doesn't help, but I'll take it just in case. And there's not an alchemy lab here. I wish there were. Oh. Knobs. Don't need that. Yeah, take it. It's fine. Why is my... Okay, cool. That should do us. We'll take care of those guys. The last guy. Down here.
I'll clean that...
Yeah.
Aye.
Here we go. Schnapps.
This is gonna sting a bit.
Ah, fucking hell, that burns.
Yeah, sorry, but
The main thing is that it does what it's supposed to. I'll have to sew up that wound on your chest.
Make it quick, before I shit myself from the pain.
I'll just make a few quick stitches. That's it.
Christ. Ah! Fuck!
did I use Taylor's kit?
Damn it. Stop squirming around, Zverk. I'm trying to concentrate. One more knot. There we go.
That's why there was a Taylor's kit. Okay.
Mother of God! That wasn't exactly painless, mate.
Could have hit you in the head first.
I'll bind that ankle of yours and bandage your chest. There. I'll wrap it up like this and tie it up here.
Ah, Sakra! Well then, is that it?
All done. Now just don't make any sudden movements, Zverk.
Thanks. It seems to be holding well.
Well, that's the dressing done. Now for the rest. I'll rub some of this decoction on your ankle.
You think that will help?
A marigold, right? And a chamomile.
This should help the swelling go down.
Oh, it feels better already.
Okay.
I'll give you something to drink.
About fucking time. Some wine?
No, you're not getting ancient moonshine. Sorry. You can have schnapps, though.
This'll have to do.
Damn it. Couldn't you get something better?
What's wrong with schnapps?
All right. That's all, Zverk.
Buddy, beggars cannot be choosers.
I treated your wounds. The best thing you can do now is get some sleep.
Christ, you really are a good healer. I feel better already. Really. Thanks a lot.
Good. Okay. Back to Clara. Oh, yeah, Imsimp, I have seen LA is, well, LA. You describe LA as looking like a war zone. I describe LA as looking like LA. Yeah, right after the fire. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, look, I remember as a very, very small child hearing, like, basically all throughout growing up, because it happened when I was basically a toddler, but all throughout growing up, the words LA riots, like, the word riot followed LA for me. That's just the stereotype. That's what it was. You know, it's and that was what, 93, 94. And so yeah, this is probably as bad as it was then. So yeah, I mean, it's the kind of thing that I kind of expect somewhere like LA. Yeah, and that is actually what I figured. So, Imsim says, for future reference, the people protesting are not foreign-born. They're all U.S.-born, second, third, fourth generation, etc. Most have never been to Mexico, but wave the flag. Radicalized youth. Yeah. I mean... Clara, give us a second. It's absolutely typical of left-wing political activism. Really, any brand of left-wing political activism, but especially the more communist varieties. It's vanguardism. I've talked about this before on the channel, that the worst pride, or maybe conceit, of the political left is vanguardism. It's this vicariousness of one's political activism. It is the comfortable white liberal protesting and radicalizing on behalf of the minority that they're patronizing. It's just... First of all, it's, like I said, incredibly patronizing. Second of all, it's incredibly prideful. Third, it's almost fetishizing. Right? The example I've talked about before is the sort of wealthy white women who are obsessed with BLM today, Black Panthers in days of yore, that sort of thing, where it's almost fetishized. But in this particular context, in this particular instance, it's not the people who would be affected by the policy at all. It's not even really the people who have these like strong moral objections. It's kids who get a sort of moral satisfaction from doing something exciting on, the way they see it, on behalf of these poor, helpless people who really can, in fact, help themselves just fine, but they don't think of it that way. And that is always how it is with leftist political movements. There's always this, usually middle to upper class, usually white, usually wealthy, usually almost exclusively college-educated vanguard that does all of the political activism on behalf of the allegedly oppressed minorities, whom they, in fact, disrespect, at the very least. In some cases, outrightly despise. Because again, if you look to the classical Marxist example, right? If you look at the classical Marxist example, it's the wealthy white upper middle class revolutionaries who claim, intellectual revolutionaries especially, who claim to be working, operating, rioting on behalf of the working class. But it is, one, the working class that they are usually harming by doing so. Just like in this case, it's the poor minority communities that they're destroying. But also, it's that these vanguard types want nothing to do with the working class. They're disgusted by everything about the working class. Just like these people would absolutely not want to live side by side with first-generation immigrants. These are second, third-generation immigrants, or these are just white liberals. They're comfortable here. They say things like Latinx that would get them beat up if they actually talked to Mexicans. You know, they're so wildly disconnected from anything they're protesting on behalf of. It's more and more I've come to see it as one of the worst aspects of the left. This sort of vanguardism or vicariousness. Anyway. I mean, look. Imsim says, I do find both sides being annoying when people say you can't wave other flags here, but many people wave Italian, Polish, Irish flags. Yeah. If you hover over this video, you will find roughly here my family crest, which is essentially a foreign flag. Which, yeah, whatever. Like, I see no problem with that. It's only a problem if you accept the U.S. as a kind of secular empire, the national identity of which is meant to overarch and subsume any other identity that you might have, which is again a very modernist-ish, but it's a Americanist notion of empire, of nationhood. That is, I mean, it's a condemned heresy by the last Pope Leo. So, there you go. It's part of the condemned heresy of Americanism. I'm thinking about writing about the heresy and just sort of laying out all of its various components, because it's a weirdly complex and often misunderstood bit of Catholic social teaching, of commentary on modern liberalism. I mean, Imsimp doesn't recognize the current Mexican Republic as legitimate because she's a monarchist. I wouldn't wave the flag of a corrupt, gang-run failed state. Yeah, okay. Kind of based. I mean, that's like the Tudors, the alleged royal family of the UK. They're just usurpers from France. Not like they're actually the royal family of England. They deposed the Stuarts ages ago. Illegitimately, of course. So, by the way, I actually do wholeheartedly believe this. I'm a Jacobite at heart, both for family history reasons and because it's cool, and because it's Catholic. But the other aspect of it is I've had friends who are monarchists who do not actually hold to the legitimacy of political revolution, right? That any violation of political sovereignty is de facto wrong, and so would otherwise, catch this, would otherwise have what would be the term? Condemned, I guess you'd say, the American Revolution, except that the American Revolution was against George, King George, who was an illegitimate king because his family had deposed the Stuarts. And so revolution against an unjust king is perfectly justified under any circumstances. So, huzzah. Yeah, that's fascinating to me. I think that's neat.
I tried to treat all the wounded.
What do you mean you tried?
It wasn't easy, but I managed to treat all the wounded. I hope they'll be all right.
Great. The rest is in God's hands. There's nothing more we can do. Thanks, Henry. I'll go and have a look at the wounded later. Now you should take care of yourself. Here, this might come in handy.
This woman is...
But I'll only take it if you don't need it.
I've got what I need. This was left over.
I halfway like her, but also halfway that she's utterly schizophrenic.
It was good to see you, my friend.
Like on the one hand, she's very nice and caring, and you know, cares for all of the injured people, and pays good attention to Henry, and all these seemingly, you know, nice and wonderful and good things. Excuse me. But also, what do you mean you tried? And then also, if you recall our last interaction with her, when we went into the woods, when she was, you know, naked suddenly, when we went back through and we redid the conversation properly, and we said, "Hey, listen, Clara, I'm not into this thing," she just immediately started screaming at us and called us an incel and shouted and ran away, basically. Like, what, dude?
Wait, I know you. You tried to kill me, didn't you?
Christ, I'm completely knackered. We can talk tomorrow, all right?
Okay, fair. Himson thinks the U.S. should have its own independent monarchy. I don't think it'll work. I really don't think it'll work.
Sir.
I mean, sure, but I don't know. I'm an anarcho-monarchist, basically. So I do think that, yes, probably nations should be ruled by something like a monarch. But also, the U.S. is way too big to be a nation. So, yeah. Florida, maybe.
Are you finished for today?
Work like this is never finished. But you have to know when enough is enough. Otherwise, it'll drive you mad.
It's tough seeing people you know and care about in such a state.
You can't let it get to you. Neither the good or the bad. If you don't think about who's lying in front of you, you can focus better on what you need to do.
So isn't there anyone here who you really care about?
No. That is, not anymore. But enough of all that.
Shortly.
I'd like to think about something else.
No.
No, you're right. It's been a long day. For all of us.
Aye. And no one knows what tomorrow will bring. Good night then, Henry.
Yeah, I'm not going drinking with the temptress. The whore. Trying to get new allies. What allies? Do I have a... Wait, I'm supposed to sleep here? In Clara's cabin. I don't like this. Okay. Let's talk to Michael.
Greetings, sir.
Where can I sleep in the castle?
I reckon there's no room in the tower or the smithy, but I'm sure there's a place for you in the lower castle. You'll find a free bed in the cabin right past the gate. It was good to see you, my friend.
Okay. Well, fine. Oh. Sorry. Didn't know I wasn't supposed to go in there. Oh, Grace doing ancestry stuff. Are you doing the research genealogically or genetically? That's always a question that interests me. Hi, soldier. Found out your mother's father's family had roots in County Wexford since 1730, probably longer. Can't find records past since don't have international records for trial on Ancestry. Interesting. Oh, okay. Never mind. You answered your question. It's on Ancestry. Okay. So yeah. Very cool. My mom's side of the family is very easy to trace. My 4 great-grandparents, my mother's 4 grandparents, came from Italy, Sicily, and Poland. So it's relatively simple. 2 of them immigrated here. All 4 immigrated to Ellis Island. 2 of them together. They were already married from Italy. The other 2, the one from Sicily and the one from Poland, that's my maternal grandfather's parents. They immigrated separately and they met here shortly afterwards. Married my grandfather. So yeah, that's a relatively easy lineage for me to trace on that end. My dad's side of the family have been in Indiana forever. Not forever, but obviously. But for quite a long time. My great aunt years ago did a really extensive ancestry search, and this was before anything like Ancestry.com. Did this all through records, like physical records and things. And she managed to trace our family back to I think a cousin of William Wallace in Scotland. So that's pretty cool. Imsim asks, is it a sin to slightly sit on the pew while kneeling at Mass? You've asked me this before, haven't you? Or did somebody else last week or a couple of weeks ago? I would say that generally no, it's not a sin. Unless it is a more general manifestation of sloth. Excuse me. Or if you've made a particular dedication to a kind of, whether it's penance or whatever else, that would require you to take a particular kneeling stance, if you will. Anyway, anarcho-monarchy. Anarcho-monarchy is a form of anarchism, first and foremost. So it eschews any form of political power or aggressive violence. That it holds the non-aggression principle as sacrosanct. That any form of aggressive violence, that is the enforcement of one's will through the political means, is de facto unjust. However, also holds to a king or monarch of some kind as a leader of a society. Right? So a society at whatever level that is, typically would be a nation, but can be as small as a village, it can be as large as an empire in theory, is best ruled by someone with near absolute authority. But that authority is distinct from political power. But the exercise of political power, that is coercive aggression on the part of the monarch or agents of the state, would delegitimize that monarch's authority. And authority meaning their right to rule. In other words, the moral obligation of those beneath him to listen, to obey, to listen to them. Authority here is the same sort of authority that you'd find in, say, academic authority. Right? I have a measure of authority insofar as you ought to listen to what I have to tell you. Not because I have power over you, but because I'm right. Or at least more likely to be right about something within my expertise. And so an anarcho-monarch, you ought to listen to the king, not because he has political power over you and will punish you if you don't, but because he is more likely to be right, because he is wise. He's a wise king and a wise ruler. That is, I think, the proper model of, if you want to call it political, of authority. It's, by the way, the kind of authority held by the Pope. So there you go. The Vatican is essentially an anarcho-monarchy. Essentially. Yeah, look, Sim says, I haven't had communion in a while, so I kneel throughout the whole communion. At Latin Mass, where only priests give communion on the tongue, kneeling, so it takes about 15 to 20 minutes. 20 minutes, straight up kneeling. Our Novus Ordo Masses, our ordinary form Masses, we also have altar rails, and it is the priest who gives communion. There are deacons who sometimes act as extraordinary ministers. If it's a full mass, they'll go on basically to the left and to the right side and have smaller lines go through. But most of the church, most of the relatively full church, comes up to the altar rails and kneels. So it's a nice long communion. We go through I forget what it's actually called. It's not the communion hymn. It's I think the communion antiphon. We sing the whole thing. It's from the Psalm. It's usually drawn directly from the Psalms, and then we have the communion hymn separately, and we usually go through like 4 or 5 verses of whatever it happens to be. So, all right, let's do this. See what's next. Am I dreaming, or is this just weird? Oh, yeah. Was it Mom? Yep. Oh, no.
No! Ma! Ah!
I am here, lad. And I'm coming for you.
Who is that guy anyway? I know we know him from a previous game, but I don't think we ever wound up encountering him again.
Quickly barricade the gate!
Uh-oh.
Hurry! Load up everything you get your hands on. Stones to the wall. All weapons to the gate.
Clara, what in the hell?
Uh-oh. Those are Von Bargov's colors. Yep. The ladders. God, that is a lot of bassinets.
What the hell is going on?
Those are some well-equipped soldiers.
Bit of a rude awakening.
Yeah, there's Tom.
Who are they? And where the fuck did they come from?
From the tower crest on their banners, looks like the Prague militia.
Prague. Oh, that guy. Markvar, right?
Outlets.
Outlets.
Good morning, Captain! Please forgive my abrupt departure without saying goodbye yesterday.
Yeah, can I shoot him?
What do you want? Lord Nebak here would like his castle back. My liege, Sir Otto, wants your head. And I have an account to settle with a certain bastard of Radzig's.
Lord Berghoff! Since when did the Chamberlain of our land ally himself with such filth?
Ever since Jobst and Wenceslas started allying with filth like you, Zizka. Sir Istvan Tod is a master of your craft. He harassed Wenceslas' allies, just as you did King Sigismund's. He did a good job in Zassau, and he would have done so here too, were it not for Hanush's pair of buffoons.
That smug little fucker was in his service the whole time.
But I have to admit, Captain Zizka, that you've been a much bigger thorn in our backsides than we care for. Fortunately, my friend Marquardt just happened to be passing, so now your tricks won't help you anymore.
The executioner awaits you, Captain. But if you're sensible, we'll spare your companions.
He didn't like that. Exactly, Grace. Those meddling kids.
Is there any way to sneak out of here?
Even if there were, it wouldn't get far.
No. And I'm never gonna run from that fucker again.
Lord von Berghoff! Sir Markvart! Lord Nebak! And you! You treacherous shit! Kiss our asses!
Oh, okay. I was going to say that's not a great way to endear himself, but...
my sins?
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Sorry, my friend. I'm afraid your castle will be needing some repairs.
Oh, boy.
It'll start soon enough.
Aye. The waiting is the worst of it.
Let's not get on our knees just yet. If we hold out, they'll parley.
We have a chance. Not a big one, but a chance.
Michael, you deal with the shooters. The tower must not fall.
Don't worry. We'll hold it. God be with you, fellas.
I'll be on the gate. But if they storm us, we'll definitely need help.
All right. I need everyone else on the battlements. So I don't forget, Henry. Mikesh said he and Kozlik would like to repay their debt to you. So tell me where to put them.
They can be back up at the gate.
As you wish.
God hear our prayer and kick their St. Clement's arse today.
Yeah, that's probably
so,
the best.
To the task, my friends.
put the fire on. Release. Nice.
Useless!
Come on, then!
Slice him up!
Shoot those ones carrying the ladders!
Now
hey, Henry!
finished.
Find a halberd somewhere and knock those ladders.
Okay, I have a halberd, so I need to equip piercing. Oh, I only have one piercing bolt. Jesus. Marksman's bolt. That'll work.
Down. Repel the ladders! To the car!
The devil's waiting for you.
Let him have it!
St. fucking Christmas. We're in the thick of things again. Bring home
Bring it.
here to push back the ladder. Quick!
Watch yourself!
I'll knock you down.
Harry!
I love this. This is fantastic. Yes! Oh, hell yeah.
I'll knock you down.
That won't work on me!
It's a wonder you're still standing! I'll shoot you! An extra
You've
asshole!
got it! Come and help me with this bastard! Hey, get it! You an extra asshole! Pray you up!
I can't see him!
Bleeding like a star!
Where's the ladders? Are there any more?
You an extra asshole!
I'm gonna shoot you.
Let's see what you can do.
I'm gonna shoot you! I'll shoot you an extra asshole! That'll work on me! Let him have it! I'll kill you, you cunt!
Come on then.
I'm gonna shoot you!
I'll shoot you, an extra asshole!
You haven't a chance!
What's going on?
You have to drive them back from the gate.
But how?
Come and help me with this bastard!
Rocks. There's rocks there.
Where's the gate?
Watch out! I can't get a shot in!
Fuck them up!
Come on, then!
For St. Clement!
For Prague! Hurry! Hurry!
Keep going! Don't stop! St. Clement!
For Prague!
Knock him down. All right.
Elason!
Henry's operating out of adrenaline, testosterone, and spite. Yeah, that's a good fuel. Very, very good fuel source. So the one on the side, the guy with the mustache, Markfart, is not actually the one who murdered Henry's parents exactly, but he led the siege. Move, please. I need to get over this. He is the one who led the siege where his parents died.
Now you mind your butt!
Watch out! I can't get a shot in!
So he was essentially responsible for their deaths, even if he wasn't the one who actually killed them.
The Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away.
Oh, I don't want the guy with the gun. Shoot him in the
Give me a
head.
hand here!
Hurry! Hurry!
Haven't had enough yet?
One down.
Exemplum ducet!
Go fuck yourself!
Yeah, he was absolutely the one in the nightmare for good reason. For very good reason.
Get them!
One's down. It's down two. Hanging out of the battlements like this is a really bad idea, practically speaking. Like, not a good idea.
I can't aim like this, damn it!
Knock him down. Also, I love that they're including the whole knocking the ladder down thing, even though you'd probably need a much longer pole to do this practically, just because it would not be that close to the battlements. Like, practically speaking, they would not have it, they would not put the ladder so close.
Fuck you!
Let's just go with common bolts. It's fine. That guy. They're close to dead. Come on, really? How about you move? Let me take it. Let me take the shot. Pretzel, please. Rush the main forces where they're larger numbered, possibly better trained. Rushing out of... Okay, so a fortification like this is... Uh-oh. Did I just lose? No. A fortification like this is an incredible defensive advantage. An absolutely incredible defensive advantage.
Let's see what you can do. You got it.
That guy's dead. Okay, good.
Hurry! There's more coming!
Wasn't good. They get a lot of people. And we're about to be holed up in the tower. All like 6 or 7 more defenders.
We're done for.
That's not good.
They won't get into the tower easily. Now, Parley, you'll see. Everyone, away from the tower! I wouldn't be so sure about that.
What is that?
What the fuck is that?
Oh.
Get ready! Pater Noster, Quies in Caelus.
Time!
Et debiti nobis debitar nostros secut.
Take cover!
Et nos dimitimus debitoribus nostros. Everyone away from the wall. Et ni nos inducas
His pronunciation.
But deliver us from evil.
His pronunciation is classical rather than ecclesiastical, which is super weird. Yeah, Nebok's castle is going to need some repairs, isn't it? Oh, shit. Yeah, cannon of that size. Yeah, that tracks. That amount of structural damage to a castle like that. They hit. Well, I mean, that was actually a good decision on their part. If it was able to be a decision to specifically hit the wooden palisades rather than hitting the actual stonework in the castle.
I told you we should have made a run for it. Aye. We should have taken off. At least then we wouldn't have to listen to your blathering.
And the last time I ran away, I lost everything. I'm never gonna do that again.
Well, that's just what I'm afraid of, Henry. Oh, honor's a splendid thing.
You won't be much use to anyone as a corpse.
The great thing about corpses is that they keep their mouths shut.
I mean,
they're not dead yet.
I have to wonder if it's because they're being annoying
That
or
diabolical invention.
to not
We'd have stood a chance.
blabber, not tell.
Show some respect, priest. Sir Otto christened this little beauty himself. He named it Finger of God.
Ah, that explains the name.
Whoever it points at.
Stop! Halt! Pull up!
What is it, sir?
We part ways here, Istvan. I need someone to keep watch on Trotsky while I'm with the king. Take the captives with you, and get what you can out of them. We need to know what the Jobst and the Leipa lords are plotting.
With the greatest pleasure, sir.
Don't spare them. And when they sing, send me a message with what you found out. But the young lord of Bjergstein will be coming along with me. He's too very...
Ah, here we go again.
He'll come in handy as a hostage, if Hanush tries any tricks. And here are the orders from King Sigismund, so you know what to question them about, and where to find us. And I'm counting on you to keep my castle in one piece until I return.
Rest assured, my lord.
Good. Forwards!
Listen to him, Ernest. Like a child of the night. Beautiful music, isn't it?
And we're back
Go to hell! But now the fun's over. I don't have all night to deal with you. I have 2 more guests to attend to, and I want to get some sleep.
Sleep
God, he's so gay.
while you can.
Oh,
very
I
late in the
will.
loafers. Good
Don't
lord.
you worry. I've had a couple of hard, nerve-wracking days, but in the end, everything went according to plan. And what's more, I have this wonderful entertainment before bedtime. I'll sleep the sleep of the dead.
I hope you do. Literally.
You'd do better to say your prayers, priest. It'll be your turn soon.
You'll rot in hell.
You think people like me are afraid of hell?
That is precisely the
Powerful
problem.
lords invoke hell to keep simpletons like you in line. God doesn't give a shit about me. And the feeling's mutual. What's the penance for such blasphemy, Of
course he is.
How many are
Of course
fathers
he
and
is.
all that shit, eh?
Your penance will be to drown in shit.
You're
See,
quite
of course he's
witty
an
for a
atheist.
priest. I like you. But now back to work.
Sir, the other one just came round too.
Excellent. As soon as we're done with the captain here, we'll turn our attention to him.
It's actually quite fascinating that they make the primary antagonist, first of all, gay, then also an atheist. It's like it really is. Next he's going to be some kind of a communist. I tell you what, it's like they're building the perfect antagonist to Christendom, really. There existed atheists in the Middle Ages. They were very rare and socially stigmatized, and loathed, and not trusted by really anyone. Just like Toth here. Toth? Istvan? Yeah. Istvan Toth. I actually don't know if he's based on an historical figure or if he's entirely made up for the game. But yeah. That always necessarily killed off directly. It's just more a matter of because they weren't trusted for good reasons, as we see. If you reject Christianity, you're essentially rejecting the social order as such. And so you're not just opposed to God, you're opposed to everything that God ordains and orders, which is society. And everyone who follows God, which is practically everyone. Fascinating. This actually reminds me of something I really wanted to talk about, which is something I talked about a couple weeks ago when we did the other torture scene in this very room. The difference, one of the key differences between modernity and the classical period, particularly the medieval Christendom. And this game is fascinating because it's on that transition line. It's on the medieval side of that transition line, but things are beginning to creep towards modernism very slowly over the next few hundred years. This is past the High Middle Ages into very, very early modernity, on the edge of the Renaissance. So-called Renaissance. So-called Enlightenment, blah, 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 blah. And I was talking then that I think a key difference between medieval torture and modern torture is that modern torture is far more barbaric because it dismisses the humanity of the victim, which medieval torture did not do. I mean, except for this guy, right? This guy, Toth, absolutely does dismiss the humanity and the significance of the victim because he is a relatively distinctly modern type of person. He's a man out of time, even though he is, of course, he fits within the time, within the setting. He doesn't fit, socially speaking. He's an oddball. He's a sadist, clearly, but he's also just an oddball. It reminds me of an episode of Martyr Made podcast that I was listening to today, yesterday and today, on the horrendous crimes of the Soviet Union, especially in Eastern Europe, and the totalitarianism, not just the authoritarianism, not just the absolute power in the sovereign, but the exercise of that power to control every aspect of every life of every citizen. Or subject, maybe better say. And torture was one of the subjects, one of the topics of the podcast, right near the end. It goes through, especially instances of the various prisons in Romania in the late 40s, where people were tortured not for crime, not to get information out of them, but to break people, specifically. To psychologically destroy people. And it wasn't for any purpose, right? Because most of these people were effectively, they were just they were either killed at the end of it, or put in prison labor work camps and used as slave labor in Siberia for the rest of their very short lives. It wasn't because they wanted to use them for like MK Ultra type of, or Manchurian Candidate type of political roles. No, it was strictly to destroy the soul. So they took people who were committed fanatics for Romanian nationalism, for Christianity, theology students, priests, etc. And they did absolutely everything possible to break them and convert them into nihilistic communists. Now, this is a very distinctly modern type of thing to do. That the whole purpose of the torture is not for anything practical. It's not to extract information. It's not, as it was sometimes in the Middle Ages, to save the victim in some sense. It was specifically to destroy them, to undermine everything good, everything that they loved, to replace it with nothing, specifically nothing. It is the absolute apotheosis, if you will, of the modern project of reducing everything, finally culminating in the human individual, to objects. And Daryl Cooper, the guy who hosts the podcast, pointed out that this was the horrific atrocities and the type of atrocities committed by the Bolsheviks, by the communists, was unprecedented in history. That it was so alien to anything human, any human experience, that it was unlike the horrific crimes of the Nazis, which were terrible, of course, but they were the same kind of terrible that someone like Van Berghoff could have committed. The crimes of the communists were utterly distinct, novel. I don't quite agree. I actually don't know whether his views have changed on this, because this is an episode of the podcast from years ago, so he might have come around on this, but it strikes me as very familiar in a sense that it's very similar to the Reign of Terror in revolutionary France. A lot of these methods of torture, while more primitive methods, the same kinds of things were being done. The same totalitarianism was there. The same hatred of God, of family, of country were there. Excuse me. Which is why I think that this kind of the horrors of communism are really the apotheosis of modernity, because the French Revolution was the real culmination of modernity into its fully grown, fully developed form. Communism was taken to was modernity taken to its extreme. Grace, it's a good question. Grace says, under the pretext, does my distrust and dislike of organized modern religion make me distrustful? It's a difficult question. I want to take it seriously. I don't want to just say, no, I trust you because I trust you. I want to actually take it seriously. Because on the one hand, there is a significant difference, socially speaking, that religion in the modern context is not the binding force of society anymore. Now, I think that's tragic. I think that's so much the worse for society, but it isn't. I think that because modern society, maybe postmodern society might be a better way of putting it, modern society broadly is not Christendom, right? Like this was. Maybe this is a bad example, but the 15th century was. Modern society is not Christendom. Modern society is a series of secular nation states with their own organizing principles, or lack of organizing principles. There is a big problem where with glue that binds society being a bit loose. But a rejection of religion in today's society does not necessarily mean the same thing that rejection of Christianity in the 15th century meant. Because rejection of Christianity in the 15th century is a rejection of society as such, of everyone and everything around you, of everything that could make you a member of society. Which, by the way, is why the Jews were mistrusted. Because it's why the Jews were mistrusted more than Muslims, for example, throughout most of the Middle Ages. Muslim travelers from elsewhere, from the Middle East, from Muslim lands, other than during the specific times and specific places where there were crusades, even then less so, they were not necessarily mistrusted. They were seen as foreigners. They were seen as outsiders. But that is there's a measure of respect there. There's a measure of understanding that is a person with their own view, which is over there. They have their own society that is not ours, but it is theirs. It's over there. This was different from the Jews. Throughout most of the Christian Middle Ages and most of Europe, the Jews were distrusted because they were in one way part of society. They lived in and among the Christians of Europe. But in another sense, they were sort of like their own society. They rejected a lot of that which bound society together throughout medieval Christendom. And so because of that, they were a sort of... They were sort of socially or politically homeless. Maybe not literally. No, this wasn't their fault exactly. But it also wasn't exactly the fault of the people who distrusted them. There were reasons to distrust them because they're not part of the same type of social order. But they don't have a social order to belong to that is a complete and cohesive type of thing, like Mohammedans would, right? They go back to whatever the Ottoman Empire at this period, right? If they went back there, they'd be part of their own society. The Jews didn't have a homeland at this point to be part of, and so any land that they were in, they were alien, right? And of course, this leads to unjust discrimination, but also understandable discrimination. This is not exactly the same in today's society, or even in earlier modern society, which is why I think that this is going to come off the wrong way, and I apologize in advance, but I think that it is... Also, I'll mention I'm kind of wandering away from your point, Grace, so I apologize, but I think that it is worse to be a modern anti-Semite than to be a medieval anti-Semite. There's two aspects of this. One, that in the Middle Ages, to be an anti-Semite did not typically have genocidal implications. After the 40s, let's be vague, to be an anti-Semite just sort of does have genocidal implications, and there's no avoiding that in today's society. But even before that, right, even in the 40s and leading up to the 40s, in say the 1930s and the lead up to World War II, where many societies had a big anti-Semitism problem, I think that it was worse to have that problem, even if it was less brutal, than to have the problem of anti-Semitism in the Middle Ages, because living in a sort of secular, pluralistic kind of society where the nation state is the grand unifying glue that holds society together, is the archon, or the arche, sorry, that hating a minority group within that context makes a lot less sense. By that I mean there's not really anything to distrust about a minority group in a context like that, like the modern one. So long as they are, co-nationalists, then if they're not co-religionists, then who cares? It doesn't matter as much. Not nearly as much. Now, I do think that that's a problem. That's a problem with modern society. I think that overall, all told, it's a problem. But there are benefits to living in this sort of modern framework, and it is the let me put it this way. I think that modern society has a higher floor of trust, but a lower ceiling. In medieval society, you could have absolute trust of your entire community. But also, you could distrust outsiders to a much greater degree for justifiable reasons. Whereas in modern society, you can't trust almost anyone completely or implicitly, except maybe your immediate family. And maybe very close friends. But you can probably trust everyone to a basic level. And so that's a serious trade-off. Okay, so Gray says, I specifically say organized because I do believe in a God, if you prefer to call the creative force such. but I don't like how organized religion practice as such, because it co-opts and misses the basic principles of which the book they base their faith on is based, whether it's written in parables or lesson narratives or not. That's actually, I think that's a rather, this is going to send me on much more of a tangent, and I've been sitting here yapping like this for 15 minutes, but I will move on shortly. But I think that's a very modern, and I would say secular Protestant way of looking at organized religion. That it is propositional. It is based upon the book. It's based upon scripture. Whereas the Catholic view, and I will say the very low church view, kind of fits in the same way, kind of, is that it's not based on the book, it's not based on the scriptures, it's not based on the Bible, it's based on Christ. Right? It's based on the relationship with Christ, and therefore how we ought to interact with God, how we ought to worship God. And the Catholic answer of that is in union with the church, which is the institution. It's an institutional structure rather than, and that is primary, right? The institutional structure is first and foremost. The book just sort of tells us about that institutional structure, about the history that structure has with God, and and some of the history. Right? That's what it's there for. But also, such an institution is not. I'm gonna have to do something more long form on the heresy of Americanism, because I think this sort of that it is at the root of this sort of thinking as well. Because Americanism as a heresy is thinking of the Catholic faith as something like a denomination, as an option that one has selected within a secular framework or a pluralistic framework. That's a large part of what was condemned by the previous Pope Leo. Well, and that's another thing too, right? We also have the Ten Commandments, which I find disingenuous. People pick and choose which they want to follow when they should follow all the basic rules. Well, there's more than just the Ten Commandments, and also the Ten Commandments are a shortcut. Talked about this in a lecture that is, I think it's called Religion and Morality, or Ethics and Religion, or something like that. I'll link it in the description after the fact. I recommend checking it out. Where Aquinas points out that all but one of the Ten Commandments are derivable from reason alone through natural law. The only one of the Ten Commandments that Aquinas thinks needed to be revealed to us was which day God wants us to worship him. That's it, right? And even that, Scotus argues later that the proposition that there is a day that we ought to set aside for the worship of God is also derivable from the natural law. Now, Scotus went a little bit far on that, maybe not. But which day specifically, yeah, we had to have that told to us. But everything else, literally everything else in the Ten Commandments, is completely derivable from natural law. You can determine that there is one God and he ought to be worshipped. You can determine that one's father and mother ought to be honored. You can determine that covetousness is wrong. All these things, etc. Right? There's more than that, but all those you can determine entirely from natural reason. You don't need God to tell you. But he does tell us, one, to sort of check our work, right? So, because it's easy to screw up if you're doing ethics. It's good to have a sort of touchstone to know that your answer is right. I use the analogy of, if you remember, if you ever did like math homework in school, where half the answers, like the even numbered answers, were in the back of the textbook, right? The reason that's there is so that you can do all of them and then check your work on some of them so that you have a better idea of whether you're getting the rest of them right. That's kind of a good way of looking at the Ten Commandments. The other aspect of it is that not everyone is a moral theologian or a professional ethicist. And so it's easy to have a sort of shorthand, a shortcut way of remembering, well, here's 10 important things that you should do. And there you go. It's accessible to anybody without having to be a deep and careful thinker. Because not everybody is a deep and careful thinker, and we shouldn't have to be in order to do what God wants us to do. God calls the simple and the wise alike. Paraphrase scripture somewhere. Anyway, let's keep going for now. I've been yapping long enough. It's been like 20 minutes. Well,
it's time to start singing, Captain.
Not yapping.
Where are Jobst of Luxembourg and Jan of Liechtenstein?
Jan?
Why do you think I've got
That's
anything
John.
to do with that fucking traitor?
Turncoat? Now, don't tell me there are disputes in King Wenceslas's camp. That would sadden me. But I'm afraid Jobst's latest treachery was directed at King Sigismund. And that's why I'm asking you. Where is he?
Kiss my ass.
It seems you don't value your life. To be fair, though, if I were in your shoes, I'd probably want it to be all over quickly, too. So we'll see how your new best friend Henry is doing. What is it? Cat got your tongue? Come on then, get your breath back. I'll repeat the question, but this is the last time I ask nicely. Jobst and Liechtenstein, where are they? What were they doing in Ratai?
I don't know anything about those two. Really?
Don't take me for a fool, boy.
I don't. But you're not what you're pretending to be either. I keep thinking, why is he doing it?
Turn it around on him.
What's behind it? You pretend to be cruel, but you take good care of Eric. Someone must have really hurt you. Am I right?
Hear that? He's concerned about other people's souls while he's being tortured. That's a first for me. Listen, you bastard. Stop talking shit and answer my questions.
The reason I'm interested is it might come in handy when I'm torturing Eric.
You're only making things worse for yourself. Let's try this again. Jobst and Liechtenstein, where are they? Why did they meet with Radzig? What do they have planned?
I don't know anything. So you can put an end to this now and save yourself the effort.
You think you can wriggle out of this so easily and that I'll kill you without getting what I want? Even if it's just a bit of pleasure? No.
Wasn't so bad. I mean, it's not pleasant.
I honestly
but...
don't understand why you're trying to play the hero. On account of your cronies here? The captain already told me plenty, and the priest here is shaking like a leaf. He won't last long.
I told you nothing, you whoreson!
You told me more than you think. And you ought to get some rest. So, Jobst and that other bastard, Liechtenstein, where are they? What are they doing? What was discussed in Ratai?
Yeah.
All right. I'll tell you what I know about them.
At last! Not hard,
let's
is
see.
it?
Let's see how we're doing
Go on
this.
then.
Jobst has a big problem. He lent money to Sigismund, who promised him Brandenburg in return. Only Sigismund isn't paying, and the Brandenburgers aren't just going to yield to him. So now he's acting like he's working for a good cause, but in fact he's just playing his own game. He has a grudge against Sigismund, and the Liechtensteiners are the same. They lent money to Wenceslas in return for Breslau. Only if Wenceslas loses the throne, there's no one to confirm the deal.
That's
actually
all
not
very
bad.
well, and it may even be
That's
true.
well put together.
But it tells me nothing about where they are now and what they're doing. Well, had enough at last? Can we start being serious finally? Is it worth suffering like this to protect that traitor and turncoat Jobst? Do you think letting yourself be killed will do any good? This is not your war! Now listen up. If you tell me what I want to know, I'll stop. And I'll get von Bergau to demand a ransom for you from Radzig. Then you'll be able to go back to that shithole of yours.
Why does he still have a mace?
I can't tell you anything because I don't know anything. The lords don't give a shit about me. No one discussed with me why we were coming here. Radzig doesn't talk politics with me. Does von Bergov confide in you about his plans?
That's a good point.
When he gives you orders?
Was that a rhetorical question, or are you actually asking? If you are, then yes, he does confide in me. Fancy that. And that's why I don't believe for a
that's so
moment
bad.
that your father doesn't tell you anything. This is the last time I'll ask. What do you know about Jobst and Liechtenstein? Where did they go from Ratai? What do they have planned?
And I'm telling you, for the last time, go fuck yourself.
As you wish.
Yeah, that's getting worse.
You had your chance to speak. It's your own stupid fault you didn't take it. Normally, I'd have a bit more fun with you. I did promise at Nebakov to gut you after all, but I don't have the time. So I'll gut someone else and leave you to Ernest here. Get rid of him.
Right now?
Right now. But if you want a bit of enjoyment, you can make it slow.
As you wish.
No! Stop it! Don't do it!
What is it, priest? Is there something you'd like to tell us?
Man.
Godwin, no!
Shut up!
Tell me then. What's on your mind, father?
From what I understood, Jobst is looking for allies so he could take on Sigismund.
That's not really news. I want to know where he is now.
In Brandenburg. He went to Brandenburg.
That's better. And what about Liechtenstein?
Yeah, Grace. The only problem though is that Toth is
Radzig
not
said
in a
Jobst
position to
sent
play
him
good cop.
Gothenburg. That's all I know.
He probably does need
God's
someone to
my
play good
witness.
cop though.
Well, I'll be. He sent him right
Just because
into Sigismund's
because
lap.
he's already
This
he and Henry
might
absolutely
surprise
despise
you.
each other.
I believe.
So he's in a good spot to be
And
bad
you've
cop.
saved this bastard's life. You'll be rewarded in heaven for that. Well then, that will do for today. See? All you had to do was cooperate a bit, and now it's all over. Wasn't all that blood spilt needlessly. Now rest up. You'll need a lot of strength for tomorrow. There's a lot more I want to know. Good night, gentlemen. Well, that's that. Find Eric for me. He's going on a little trip.
Does running for it still seem like a bad idea to you?
You know, the worst of it is that we betrayed the others. And now they'll get the same as us.
Don't feel so bad about it, lad. Everyone breaks under torture. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, maybe he would have been better off if he had been more straightforward about it, but I do think if he had somebody who was being more the good cop with him, that would have maybe worked better.
Can you hear that?
I knew she was up to something. The last thing I expected was her to be useful, though.
About time, Catherine. Oh, God. What took you so long?
You can hang around here a bit longer if you like.
Okay, now I just need to know what her deal is. Because I knew she had some kind of a deal.
Wait. You? So that's why you pretended not to know me this whole time?
Did you work that out all by yourself?
And that's why you killed that man by the pond?
I wouldn't let anyone put their filthy heads on my most loyal sister-in-arms. Would I?
Okay.
Well, if it hadn't been for me, you wouldn't have been able to stop it.
See how cocky he is, Catherine?
He's right though, Zizka. He acted like an utter madman who's tired of life. But you were still far away, and if it hadn't been for him... Thank you, Henry.
A madman? I just don't run away from a fight, that's all.
And look
Like
at
I
yourself.
said, a madman. Are you all right?
I'll live. But everything else won't be so straightforward.
What about you two?
Better than I probably look.
He didn't pay all that much attention to me. We haven't met, my dear. Godwin's the name.
Catherine. But this isn't the time for pleasantries. We have to get out of here.
That is true. She could, yeah, she's an herbalist. She could grow up poison. Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
I've thought
okay.
of that. There's a secret passageway that leads right
She's a
from the
good-
basement
she's a good
to the
agent,
Apollonia
I will say.
Rocks.
I know about the secret passage. I found it from the other side at one point.
A secret passage?
That's right.
Good work, Kate. Thank Christ. So what are we waiting for?
Don't count your chickens yet. It won't be that simple. There's an iron gate at the start of the passage. We won't be able to force it. We need the key. And the
Lord of the Castle isn't
has
here.
And right now, that's the Hungarian. Sacra. Where can we find him?
Markford?
In his chambers at the top of the Crone Tower, most likely. That's the smaller tower on the far side of the castle.
Yeah, I know that.
Getting hold of the orders he got from von Berghoff would also come in handy.
And our things.
Oh, it's not
Istvan
Markford.
has
It's the
your
other
things
guy.
taken to his chambers. And the documents will be in either the scribe's chambers or von Berghoff's.
Okay.
How many people are there in the castle?
That's one thing working in our favor. A lot of them left with von Berghoff.
That is
Here
good.
in the upper castle, there's just Istvan and a couple of men. There are more in the lower courtyard, but we don't have to worry about them. Besides, there's a storm on the way, so they'll all be inside.
I'll take care
Excellent.
of Istvan and get the keys.
Sure. That's a brilliant plan. Someone has to. And I'm in no state to do it myself.
Don't worry, I'll do it. I have a score to settle with him
How you're
anyway.
gonna settle
That's
that
just
in your
what I'm
current state,
afraid of.
but okay.
He said he wants to get some sleep. With any luck, The lad will find him in bed.
And the two of us can go.
Don't take this the wrong way, Godwin. But Henry has to be stealthy, and you'd just get in his way. What's more, we need to search our tower, find von Bergov's orders.
Oh, excuse me.
And to keep guard. If someone came, Catherine wouldn't be able to handle him on her own. And I can't help her in this state.
Have you forgotten, Shishka? I'm supposed to bring him home in one piece.
Don't worry, he can cope.
It's not that they
Someone
wouldn't
who can
suspect
hack
her as
me
a
in
woman,
the face
but
won't have any
that
difficulty
medieval
with
women
that
had their own
fucking
ways of wielding
Hungarian
power and
midget.
even violence.
All right,
and this was
then.
more like it.
Be careful. And don't take
Women were
unnecessary
frankly,
risks. No
rather
fucking
often,
around. Just cut his throat while he's asleep.
It's not
infiltrators,
every day you hear a priest handing
were
out
often
advice on
poisoners,
throat
were often
cutting.
assassins, were often
Well, I'll follow
spies,
it.
all these sorts of things. So it's actually relatively common. This is,
All right.
again, relatively historically
Let's split
authentic,
up.
right? A lot of times,
I'll
the
take
modern
care
mind
of
might,
Istvan
the
and search
modern,
the scribe's chambers on the way. You, Godwin,
YouTube,
see what you can find in von Bergov's chambers.
You know, Chud Tuber might say that this is Catherine being a girl boss or whatever, but no, this is actually the if a woman is going to participate in medieval warfare, this is how it happens, right? And this is actually, again, very historically authentic.
It's just... I could do with some kind of armor. And a weapon to sort out that bastard. He may be lower than vermin, but I don't want to strangle him with my bare hands.
I don't think the poor bastard who was guarding us will need his stuff
Imp said we missed some
anymore.
torture,
Robbing
and
the
that's
dead
talking
may be
a lot
sin,
about it.
but I'm sure Father here
probably
will
half an
turn
hour
a
of me just
blind eye.
Aye. Although, turning a blind eye is more your thing, Shishka.
Wait, Henry. I'll give you my knife. I won't need it here.
Thanks.
I'll take care of Jan. Hurry.
Okay, got a dagger. It's equipped. Good.
They've really messed you up. I've
Okay.
gotta clean that, Lord.
Requiem aeternam, dona
Leave it.
I'll take that and 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 that, and I guess iron. I'll take some iron and equip. Go. Torch. Okay. Alright, I'm a little bloody, but that's fine. Anything else worth using in here? The instruments of torture, perhaps? No, there's nothing in the
Always has to be a
cells.
hero, even if it costs him his life.
I don't have a lockpick. That's unfortunate. I'm gonna walk off this nice armor. It's not very nice armor. It's not that Henry has frequented many dungeons lately, it's just this one. It's just repeatedly. Ooh, excuse me. Okay. Do I need food? Yeah, I'm fine. I don't need horseradish, certainly. Oh, there's a storm. I hear a storm. Take this just in case. Shouldn't need it, but you never know. Oh, that's cool. Was that? Pictures. No, nothing I need. Okay, moving on. What's that? Marigold decoction. Very nice. Ah, so what did you want to ask earlier?
Like red wine, I'll drink your love until I die, my red wine.
What? You can't stand up to this! I'm on them!
Ah, this is great.
Take that!
Oh, there's more.
I'm all yours!
Okay, I'm just gonna kill all of them, that's fine.
You wanna try me?
Okay,
I'm
one
all
down.
yours.
Come on, just come this way.
I'll help you. Take that fucker out, damn it! I've been waiting for you.
Come on. Where? Who's fighting me? How should we conduct ourselves when a married or engaged woman is openly flirting with us?
And the Lord take it away.
Not going along with it, I guess. None of them have bows. I don't think that, though.
Eternal torment it is then. Suit yourself. Take that! But you can hardly stand. Good. I still can't quite do that. Good hit.
Okay, cool. I'll take those. And I will equip them. Oh, I can only... Oh, because I don't have a good belt. Not in that regard, but in the sense of, should we be polite yet firm or downplay it and say, okay, well, moving on. Downplay it, I would say, is probably the best thing to do. It's best not to take it seriously in case it isn't serious, you know? That is probably what I would say, is to, like I said, not to take it any more seriously than you really need to, given the situation. Those give me health and energy. I'll take them. I need that, or I might need that moving forward. Same. No energy. Okay, hold on. Need to go to the other tower. Okay, that's... Huh?
Ride the horse into the ground if you like.
Oh, okay.
You'll pass through Senates. That belongs to the Rosenbergs, and they'll give you a fresh one. Here's the report for von Berghoff.
Shoot.
I almost felt sorry for Radzig's bastard. But we got what we want.
Really?
The main thing is, find Job's spy, Liechtenstein.
What's the matter? You worried about me?
Don't worry.
We'll be fine.
You.
You've grown into a very capable young man. But you still have to learn to fight for your place in the sun.
Oh, it's that kind of
Nobody
relationship, isn't it?
will hand anything on a platter to men like you and me.
It's very much the sort of pederastic kind of relationship, which is what you'd expect, honestly.
I won't forget that.
Vincent says, we had a substitute secretary, sorry, at my job. She was significantly older than me, probably close to 20 years older than me. Ooh, jeez. Mid-40s, probably. At first I thought she was being nice, but she constantly gets closer to me, touched me, and wanted to whisper things to me. She always had jokes and all manner of comments ready for me in the morning. We have a ring-style camera in our office. It takes me a minute between writing it unlocking. She'd open it without me even writing it. I'd walk up to the door, unlock. She never mentioned she was married, but she did have a ring on her finger, so I assume she is. Yeah, that's awkward, certainly. At the very least. It is, honestly, that is a... That is a very unfortunate type of situation that tragically does happen fairly often in the workplace these days.
Show me what you're made of, you
Oh,
wretch.
hello. Okay. Oh, shoot. You have
Come on,
shield.
then.
Okay. I'll take the shield.
Fuck with us, you
How did... Whoa, excuse me. What kind of hit was that?
I've been waiting for you. Do it. Damn, I'm bleeding.
Good. Not for long. Take that, though. Older women going for younger men. In Simpest, they have the mentality, if I can get a young guy to pick me over the woman his age, then I'm just as pretty as they are. Yeah, I mean, that's an element of it, I'm sure. That's certainly an element of it. But also, it's, I don't know, maybe it's a kind of exertion of power as well. There's an element of that, certainly. No one to kill in here. I don't have a lockpick still. Ooh, nice stuff. Oh, here's a lockpick. Excellent. I'll take bandages too. There we go. Whatever, I'll just take everything. Noble Hood. Is it better than it? No, it hurts my visibility. I will drop it. Long Gambison. Better visibility than the Gambison I have, and a little bit better armor. Ordinary coat. That is worse visibility. I'm going to drop it. Oops. Okay, cool. Gray said, you might agree with me here, but women of upper class station would have more classical education, things like needlework, certain reading languages, certain levels of religious knowledge, maybe some. Yeah, that is true. That's certainly true. I'll take it. Gray said they maybe some philosophy, right? Yeah, that is true. It would be sort of privately tutored though, because women were typically not, university educated. But that's also not primarily because they're not primarily because they were women, but primarily because they were lay people. For the most part, what is that? Oh no, what is that perk? Damaged arms. Oh shoot. What's damaged that badly? Oh, my shield. My shield. Right, of course. I wonder if I can get a better one. I wonder if any of the other ones were any better. I'm gonna go back downstairs real quick. They probably weren't. No one is. No, it's not actually any better. They were only the 2. Very slightly better. This is the scribe's quarters, right? What is that? What? Lady Yitka's kohlrabi. What's a kohlrabi? It is palatable to the simple peasants, the poor, and the cattle. Nobility often turn up their noses at it, but Lady Yitka seems to be an exception. Nourishment, energy, and health. Energy and health. Sure, why not? I'll just eat it. Kohlrabi is a vegetable. Thank you, Klaus. I did not actually know that. I mean, I assumed it looked like some kind of root vegetable, but... no, that's horrible. No. No. Gartered hose... better. Oh, never mind. It's strictly worse. Homemade hunting sword. I mean, no, because it doesn't have a crossguard. I mean, it's less damaged, but it doesn't have a crossguard, so that's actually less helpful to me. It's a hot bath. Wow. Okay. Yes, Heartflower, that is Grace, is an actual real woman, believe it or not. Crazy, right? Okay, a better military sword, that's good. Better... more noise. What? Burger propulsed. Okay, that is a better condition military sword. I will use it. Maybe I don't need to loot the entire castle, but I will regardless. Soap. Nah. Okay, moving on. Okay, further upstairs we go. That is true, class. I almost forgot. On the internet, there are no women on the internet.
Ink.
There are only the men are men, the women are men, and the children are FBI agents. You're calling them sure when you wicked blacksmiths. What? How dare you? I'll take it so I can read it. That sounds interesting.
Nothing here.
Ooh, a Basilard. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah. I'll take the Basilard. For sure. Need.
Nothing here.
I will equip the Basilard, because that is a better sword. Better weapon. Wooden rosary. That doesn't steal that. That seems wrong. Pay an indulgence of 3,500 groschen. That seems excessive. Not that I need to, but on Wenceslas.
It doesn't look like there's anything interesting here. That leaves Istvan's chambers.
Alright, well, to Istvan's chambers then. Okay, floating inkwell. Very neat. The cat and the poet. Nobleman's hat. That's a really cool hat. I'm gonna take it, because I want it later. It's a really cool hat. Alright, well, moving on. Yeah, there's a relatively small contingent of guards in here, which is nice. Game saved, that's good. I could do some alchemy, but I won't. Oh, it already did it automatically. I could take all this and make some stuff, but I'm not gonna do that because I'm maybe in a hurry. I'd probably like to be sneaky. Painkiller brew, I'll take that. Does Erica ever watch my streams? Or is that the same as watching me play any other game? Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes. If she's not doing other things, which often, a lot of the time, she's doing other things. Tonight she might be watching, I'm not sure. She may also be either trying to get Gabriel to sleep, which is a problem always. He's been an issue lately. Only lockpick. I cannot break this thing. I'll take steel. Why not? Or she may in fact be sleeping herself. She does that. She definitely enjoys sleeping. It is a favorite pastime. Alright. Upstairs we go. Yeah. Wow, that's real stormy. Jeez. What games am I playing off stream? Just started West of Loathing. A lot of fun. Very funny. Not really... Wouldn't be that great to play off stream because it would require a lot of voice acting on my part. The other game I've been playing Fire Emblem Sacred Stones on the Switch Virtual Console. Good old one. It's an old game, but I greatly enjoy it.
You just won't give up, will you?
This
I actually
Captain
like
Showdown,
that
love it.
about you. It reminds me of someone.
I'm not like you.
We're not so different, you and I.
Last time you let me go. That's not my style. And it came back to haunt you.
Do you want Henry to kill you?
So, what's it gonna be? A fair fight? Or are you finally going to learn?
I'm just gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him.
In the end, see, I was right. The stronger dog fucks the bitches.
Okay, gay Andrew Tate. Then again, that's redundant. Oh god, that's satisfying. Oh, that is satisfying. I have no objection to this. None at all. Gayer Andrew Tate? Is that possible, Klaus? Is that even possible? Quest complete. Time to go home. God, it's a hexagonal blade profile. Okay, equip it, equip it, equip it. Yes. No shield. Oof. Oh, nice sword.
I hope the bastard didn't have those keys on him. Better take a look in his chambers upstairs.
Oh, no. Don't say that. Henry, no. You are the one who threw him out the window. That was your fault. Entirely your fault. Dollmaker boy. Damn, I'm really glad I didn't fight him. Recipe for Fox. Night perfume. Chaperone. I'm taking the chaperone. It's Toth's chaperone. That's so taking him. Fucker. Anything else around here? There's another sword. Just a long sword, though. Boring. I mean, I'll take it. I'm assuming that there's going to be some way of I will lose my proper sword. I have to use something else. So maybe. Slick-witted, welcome. Yeah, absolutely love to see it. I have not played this one before. I did play the previous game. I played the first game. I did actually play it on stream. And then again off stream. But if you want, you can certainly find my my live stream series of the first game on my channel. It was they are a couple of my favorite games. I will absolutely say they're both absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, no, this is my first time playing this one. Monastic rules and Benedict, money, abandoned perfume. Really freaking key. Was it worth tossing him out the window? I'm gonna go with a solid maybe. That was immensely satisfying. Immensely. Oh, dude, no, taking my time, really soaking up the experience. Please note, this is my, 16th or 17th live stream of this game. Or 17th live stream playing this game, I should say, I guess. And I am only now leaving Trotsky. I haven't even gotten to the second map yet.
Istvan's chambers. Maybe I'll get lucky.
And each of these streams is about 3 hours. So that's like nearly 50 hours into this game. Plus, I've probably put in, I don't know, 20 or so off stream. Just, you know, exploring, crafting, blah 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 blah, that kind of stuff. Okay, that's good. Yeah, no, I did literally complete
nothing here.
Every side quest before hitting the point of no return thing. Pick up my things. And the orders.
Istvan's keys. No sign of the order.
Okay, I am properly equipped. However, I'm equipping the good sword. Obviously. God, okay, all right. We are golden at this point. I am over encumbered. What the fuck? That's why. I'm just gonna drop a bunch of crap. Keep the pistolet. Catherine's dagger, idle helmets. Maybe I should have kept the daggers to give back to Catherine, huh? Whatever. It's fine. Coat of arms, souvenir. That is a souvenir. These I don't need. All right, moving on.
Well, at least I found the most important things.
Okay, I need to go back. Yeah, I need to go back. Throwing Istvan off the tower was just... Oh, man. That was absolutely... I've been waiting since, like halfway through the last game for that. Excellent. Grace was saying, as for women going for younger men, I think their intention there is more dual standpoint, where one, they can control the situation better, and two, secularly speaking, there's a sexual element. I'm sure there is. That is a good point. Absolutely sure of that. Can I get out this way? No. Okay, go down further. Well, I mean, great stream as well, but now keep in mind, I also, part of my major intention playing any game on stream is also to pause and yap about philosophical topics that come up. So during the torture scene, we kind of sat there for maybe half an hour, staring at bloody Henry while I was talking about the modern and medieval political theory and torture theory and all sorts of things like this. So yeah, I do a lot of the normal live streaming type of things, but also I am perfectly willing to stand perfectly still in one place for hours at a time and just sort of yap about stuff. Because I mean, a large part of why I started doing these live streams was to talk about the philosophical topics that come up in video games, sort of, as almost like a kind of literature, which I see them as a kind of literature, really. So,
What are you doing here, Godwin?
What do you think? It's locked. Did you find those keys? Maybe you've got the one for this damn door.
I've got them.
Excellent. Open the door then, so we can get the hell out of here.
yeah. So Imsim says, I've often wondered about the morality of what's going on on television. On the one hand, the U.S. government is right, has a right to protect the integrity of its border. I disagree, but moving on. At the same time, their immigration process is long and complex. It can take decades for approvals. We can circumvent the process. Yes, the process is absurd. How it is set up is ridiculous. It's not well thought out. It's not well organized, and it's onerous to the point where disobeying the process is, quite frankly, I won't say laudable, but understandable, certainly. 15 health. Yes, let's do that. Nourishment plus 7. I can afford that, right? Yeah. And as for the U.S. government having the right to protect the integrity of its border, that assumes that the government has property rights over the entire nation, which it does not. The closest you can say is that the government has a responsibility to act as a proxy for its citizens, and if its citizens would not want people trespassing on their particular property, maybe the closest way to approximate what the citizenry would want would be closed borders. That is, I think, the strongest argument for closed borders, aside from just pure pragmatism. The morality of what's going on specifically, I would put more in terms of like I said, I think it comes down to trying to best approximate what the individual citizenry would want given their particular property rights, right? Which is always going to be a shot in the dark as far as the state goes. What would be the moral thing for the United States to do? Dissolve. That's what. Anything less than that is compromise, right? And so then we get into the difficult territory of what is the best approximation of what would be the private solution. What is the best state approximation of a private solution? The U.S. federal government is an illegitimate criminal organization. Simply. I don't want 50 independent states. I want 350 million independent persons. I'm an anarchist, remember? Come on, Imsim. The closest thing we can get to approximating that is better, right? And so the closest thing we can get to approximating that, I think you can argue, maybe successfully, I think that's a really strong argument to be made, but the closest approximation to actual independence of what people individually really would want as property owners would be closed borders. Now, there are better systems than that, but if we're looking for a big ham-fisted solution, closed borders, mass deportation is maybe as close as you can get. Anarchy under a king, yeah. You left, didn't you? You asked a really important, really interesting, fundamental question about anarcho-monarchism, and then you hecked off.
Henry,
without answer. No, shut up, Godwin. I am talking. I'll just look at you as you're bleeding over there. Yeah, so anarcho-monarchism is essentially, as I kind of elucidated before, is the idea that we ought to have a king or a monarch or somebody who has authority over a given society. Now, the size of that society of 350 million people is wildly impractical for any rulership, but whatever. I guess it's possible to have something like an emperor, I guess, an anarcho-emperor, which is a weird thing, but fine, maybe. Realistically, it would be more like localities, right? But the king rules by authority. That is to say, subjects, followers, whatever, have a moral obligation to obey because the king is right, not because the king has some political enforceable authority or enforceable power over them. And further, the attempt to enforce that authority with political power, i.e. with aggressive violence, would delegitimate that king, and would therefore undermine his authority, and he would no longer be a legitimate king worthy of obedience. I have a paper on this. I posted it as a blog post as well. I'll put it in the description after the fact, and I'll put it in the philosophy channel or something, Discord, later on. It's kind of like Plato's Philosopher King. Plato's close. He's close to right on this. No, you're right. You're right. It's not your fault. You have double assignments and such. You're right. You have a lot to do. But you did the thing where you ask something really important and you walk into the other room, so to speak. Also, Klaus, yeah, physical removal, so to speak. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Very Hoppian. I mean, this is also Hoppa's view, more or less. Hoppa was a monarchist, sort of, and an anarchist, but in a different way than me. Hoppa thinks that monarchy is probably the closest approximation that we can get to proper anarchy or anarcho-capitalism. So, yeah, it's again, the best book for that is what is it? From aristocracy to monarchy to democracy, a story of social and economic degradation, or something like that. I'll find the book. I'll post it as well.
Henry, come in here.
He's excellent on history. Okay, so that might be a good point. Secularly speaking, again, younger men are more adventurous in bed, perhaps, yeah. And sometimes older, settled women reach for that. And there's vanity to it. But the vanity doesn't have much to do with you. Okay, yeah, again, I can see that. I can see that. Imsip says, is it the equivalent to your house where your children run amok, anarchy, and you and Erica are the monarchs presiding over the chaos? No, I don't like analogies between states and parents, because anyone who analogizes the state to a parent has never encountered the state or a parent. It's not the same thing at all, in any way. Now, Himsip, here's the thing. I don't think Grace is looking too deep into it. I think Grace is a woman, and therefore is looking into it the proper depth, and we men are looking at things in a very shallow, man-type way. And given that you're asking about the psychology of women, maybe we should listen. What we got? Really?
I'm sure he's got some good wine hidden here somewhere.
Take it? A lavish rosary? Nah. Ooh. Fancy. What else we got? I got one. What you got? Anything good?
Shit. Where could they have hidden them?
Nope. This is his desk. It's got to be right here, right? No. Maybe not. Here. Lullaby potion, which I already think I have. Sigismund's orders, yay! Got him, boss. Yeah, it is a complex question, right? Grace says it has to do with having more control over their partner versus the man they are married to in their own applicable age group. Okay, yeah, maybe. Again, yeah, I think that there's certainly elements of control there. It's a solid point. Again, it also could be other factors as well, right? It might not just be one factor. There could be multiple factors at play here, certainly.
Someone could show up at any moment.
Okay, moving. Okay, got it. Okay, shut up.
I think we have everything. We can go.
You took our things.
I did.
Here you go.
We have the orders. Let's get out of this accursed place.
Amen. Nah. Don't want a helmet. Dude, do you want me to lead? You are barely on your feet. Meanwhile, I am walking around here, a god among men. An absolute tank. A heckin' unit. I'm gonna have to wrap soon, too. It's almost midnight. What am I doing up this late? Plus, as I hate the idea of state as parent too, but as someone with regular contact with criminal defendants, a large portion of them are only dubiously capable of governing their own lives. Sure, which is why I think that there needs to be something like a monarch, but not a state. Those are different things. The state would do worse, yeah, because it undermines its own legitimacy by way of aggression, right? By way of acting de facto unjustly. That's cool. The winds. Ah, that's so nice. Yeah, like I said, Klaus, I am in some sense an anarchist, and I am in a completely different sense a monarchist. I do think that we do need a kind of wise authority in our lives. It's just that. Wait, what happened to my other longsword? Did I drop my proper longsword? Didn't I? Shoot. I'll have to make a new one. It's fine. Anyway. It's most monarchs are states. Or, I mean, represent states. But it is theoretically possible to have a monarch without that monarch becoming or embodying a state. In other words, if they specifically if they rule through authority rather than power. That's the very short version. With that. I have 148 lockpicks. I think I'm okay. No, there's nothing in it. Okay, never mind. Ruling by authority, in other words, subjects have a moral obligation to obey because you are correct. In the same way that if I say something correct, you are under epistemic obligation to agree with me. Just like if you say something correct, then I am under epistemic obligation to agree with you. It's just that the wise king is more likely to be correct more often. And so, subjects ought to listen and ought to obey. If they don't, however, yes, they have done something wrong, but that does not mean, if they have disobeyed yet have committed no aggression, that does not mean that the king has a right or responsibility to physically or coercively prevent them. It would be wrong to do so, and it would undermine his authority to do so. Examples of this would be, of course, academic authority, right? Academic authority does not include an enforcement mechanism, because why would it? That's silly. Similarly, the church does not typically include an enforcement mechanism except by common agreement. Whether that is, excommunication.
We have the keys, the orders, and our things.
And also a rather nice sword. I suppose you settled things with the Hungarian.
Absolutely.
Before you lot start exchanging revenge stories, give me the keys. I have to find the right one.
Here you are.
Catherine.
Istvan is dead. I killed him.
And is it a weight off your shoulders? Has anything changed?
Aye. It's a wonderful feeling. Now I just have to sort out the rest of them.
Be careful, Henry. It's understandable after what happened to you, but taking pleasure in revenge can be dangerous. and not just for your soul.
Amen.
Leave him be.
True,
He's a
but
warrior.
on it's Henry.
I could see it in his eyes. You did the right thing, Henry.
And did you follow my advice? Or did you take needless risks?
He was awake. It was almost like he was waiting for me. And then... it just got out of hand. Luckily, it worked out all right. For me.
For all of us. If it hadn't, me or Godwin would have to kill him, and I'm not in the best condition.
And what's more, I'd have to take your body back to Ratai and explain everything to Sir Radzig.
He was
If
up
you've all
waiting.
finished
clearly.
chatting, I'd like to remind you where we are. We have to vanish, now.
Is it far? Zizka won't make it too far on foot.
I'll make it.
How should I know? I've never been here before. I think the passage ends somewhere in Apollonia.
I have
and
been
that's a
through
short
it.
way from
It
the
is
castle.
quite long.
There's an old poacher's camp in the rocks there, and my people
Yeah,
will be
the monarch
waiting
is
there.
just the
You go
wisest guy in
first,
the room,
Henry.
whose
I
orders
light the
only
way.
need to be obeyed when they're
I'll
right.
lock the gate behind us.
How does that not give us the
Let's go
Protestant
then.
problem of, I don't think that's
just
right?
hope we won't get
Because
buried
you
alive.
have an obligation to obey.
Case, at least
Just like
we'll
you have an
a
obligation to
burial
obey
with
the
a
Pope.
priest.
But he's not going to throw you in jail if you don't. Now, that's the other thing, too. Like, the king can excommunicate, so to speak, can remove you from the community. If you're not part of the community anymore, sure, you no longer have an obligation to obey, but that also means that, that also means that you no longer have the benefits of the community. Right? So put those things together, and we basically have the same thing as the authority structure of the church. It's just in a not a sectarian way, I guess secular way, if you want to call it that. Let's go. Guys, you coming? You guys coming? Oh boy.
A bit of glowing moss. I'd have imagined a secret tunnel would be more like a Minotaur's labyrinth in Crete than this. The Minotaur was a monster. A man with a head of a bull.
No.
lived
The king
in a
cannot
labyrinth.
excommunicate people, but the king can exile people.
It's an
Exile would be
ancient
the proper term for it, really.
I read it in the seminary.
I know a lot of bull-headed men.
It's basically
I
the
don't have to
equivalent of
read any old
excommunication, but
tales
in a
some
secular
seminary.
sense.
Right, Zizka?
Catherine!
And how did this mini tower of yours come to have a bull's head? Maybe that would explain how it happens to all those other fellas.
Well,
What?
his mother, Queen Pasiphae, had relations with a mythical white bull. By which I'm not implying the same.
Minotaur. Really? She's never heard of the Minotaur? Really?
Very wise.
Okay.
And what happened to this Mino bullman?
He was killed by the Athenian Prince Theseus, though I have to add he had quite a bit of help from Princess Ariadne. She gave him a magical thread to help him find his way out of the labyrinth.
Monsters and princesses with magical thread? Oh, must have been an interesting seminary, eh?
I used it to polish my Greek.
I think I can figure out what you were polishing. Over a story where a mythical queen has relations with a bull?
Rude.
You're a saucy one. But I can assure you, there's a whole different kind of literature in the seminary for that.
Oh? What kind?
God in heaven, will you shut up already? Someone will hear us.
Jan is right. Knock it off with the dirty talk, father.
Me, dirty dog. You were the one who asked.
Quiet.
You're both absolutely to blame. I'm ashamed of everyone. Is she groaning? Like, she looks to be very... She's covered in blood. Is it hers? We're past midnight, but I really want to finish this, so I guess we're gonna... Oh my god, are you kidding me? You saw that, right? That was the way out. I'm gonna finish this. Also, I have to say, I love that if this were any other game, it'd be faster to walk to Zimbabwe. Yeah. At this pace, yeah. If this were any other game, these tunnels would be phenomenally dangerous. There'd be monsters and beasts and all kinds of nasty things in here. But no, this is actually rather realistic. If there's a tunnel like this, the most dangerous thing you'll find in here is maybe a rat. You might find a bear at some point. Maybe. But almost certainly not. Like, it's not going to be full of wolves. There's not going to be a random frickin' leopard or something like there would be otherwise. There's no kobolds. No, it's just a tunnel. The most dangerous thing about it is getting lost. Or, you know, slipping and falling. There's that too. We're making progress. Cave under Trotsky. There's the cave. There's the exit. Yeah, I appreciate the game for its restraint in the dangers of deep, dark, spooky caves. The first game too. Like if you look at if you think about the mines under Skalitz, the silver mines, they were deep and dark and spooky, and there were a bunch of deadfalls that you had to watch out for, but there were no, like, creatures or monsters or anything dangerous. It really was just, you know, a bunch of tunnels. And the absolute worst thing you had to worry about was getting lost. And boy howdy, could you get lost. Hey, we made it. Oh, it's not going to make us go all the way. Okay, that's helpful. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is right near, by the way, this is very, very close to where we found...
Fresh air at last. Now, if we had a little wine...
Capon.
We've noticed we're gone. Fuck. How far are your people with the horses?
Young Mika will be waiting half a mile to the south, at an old camp.
Half a mile. Okay.
I need to rest. Supposing we take a look at Sigismund's letter. Okay. See what the bastard is plotting. Good idea. Here, give me some light.
She switched from lantern to torch.
Let me see. I, Sigismund of Luxembourg, by the will of God, King of Hungary, Dalmatia, and Bohemia.
Oh, Christ, skip that.
And I therefore call my loyal ally. Sigismund is mustering his allies and their armed forces to Kuttenberg.
What does it mean?
It means that he's lost patience. And he's planning to crush the resistance while he still can.
So, von Burgov and von Aulitz have gone to Kuttenberg?
Yeah. And my friend Hinek of Kunstadt is at Suchtal Fortress, not far from Kuttenberg. And Liechtenstein is in Kuttenberg too.
Ooh, interesting.
We have to warn them.
And we have to help Capon.
First, we must get away from here. Only he can't get far on foot.
I'll bring the horses to the road. You wait here.
But the place is crawling with them.
You go ahead. They'll give up in a while. We'll move further back inside.
When you meet Mika, the password is Falcon.
Okay.
God go with you, lad.
Mika, at a half mile to the south, huh? Okay. I want to finish this. I really want to finish this. We're going late. Sorry, boys. Hope everyone's buckled up. We've been in non-stop heavy plot for weeks now. I want to get. I want things to open back up. I really want to open things back up.
Let's go.
Damn. There's a lot of them. At least I'm a gigantic, terrifying, murderous killing machine.
Here he is.
Hey, buddy. Damn it. This is going to be really bad. Uh-oh.
For us, fucker. I've been waiting for you.
Okay, that one's dead. Okay, moving on, moving on.
Show what you're made of.
Fuck it! Ha! Fuck you!
Okay, you're dead. Moving on.
Come on then.
There's more of them, really?
Do it!
Okay, it seems that I have killed 100 meth. Oh, come on, man.
Take care for them.
They took the horses, didn't they? Little fuckers.
Are you Mika?
Depends on who's asking.
I'm Henry. I'm here to... Vulcan.
Here to
Password
Vulcan.
is Vulcan.
Alright. I'm Mika. Where's Catherine?
It all went tits up. We've got a wounded man. We need to take the wagon all the way to the passage to load him on. Where is it, anyway?
We left the wagon and the horses just outside of Apollonia. The soldiers are combing the forest.
Outside
Nobody
of
can get
Apollonia?
through until they stop. Fuck. I thought we could sneak out of here. But if someone's wounded...
You don't look too good neither.
Listen, my brother and the butcher's hand are guarding the wagon. But if we don't show up by daybreak, that means something's gone wrong. And they'll leave.
Something has gone wrong.
To tell them what happened.
Right, I'll go. Go and find Catherine in the cave. She'll fix you up. Where exactly is the wagon?
Keep heading south from here until you come across a cliff split in two.
Okay.
There's a broken down wagon standing nearby. Go between the rocks, up the hill, then head south. If you pass by an abandoned camp, you'll know you're going the right way.
Okay,
It's
I think I
another
know that
mile
camp.
or so past the camp. Just keep heading south.
A mile
You
or
should
so
come
past the
across
camp.
them.
Oh my
We're
god.
parked a bit off the road, so as not to be seen.
Right.
Don't forget to say the password Falcon to them too, so they don't kill you on sight.
All right.
Good luck. God be with you.
I'm with you.
Yay. Let's do this. Okay, that's not great. Oh, it's just a torch. That is... That's nasty. That's really sneaky. I don't like that. I don't like that there's just a torch there. Oh, there's a guy.
There's one here.
guess I'm fighting my way through, huh?
You want to try me?
He's dead. Very dead.
I'm all yours.
You want to try
Here's the cool part. I can just kill all of these guys.
I'll rip your arse open!
Show what you're made of! We're going to gut you, you whoreson!
Okay, you're dead.
I've been waiting for you.
Next. Moving on. See, this is the... Yeah, Takuzo, I can tell why you hated this mission. It's kind of rough.
Broken wagon.
Between the rocks.
Up the hill here.
It is extremely helpful that I can
keep going south from
I can relatively easily kill 100 men in a row. Really? Are there more? There's gotta be more, right? Oh god.
I'll help you with that!
He's dead.
Show what you're made of!
Burn in hell!
Do it!
Hey! He's here!
Damn it.
Die, you wretch!
Not anymore.
I'm all yours.
Come on, man.
I've been waiting for you!
Oh,
And you'll
jeez.
get another right away!
Show what you're made of! Go fuck yourself!
We're gonna get it! You wanna try me?
Okay, another one down. Need to get to somewhere where I can actually fight, somewhere clear.
You wanna try me? Go fuck yourself!
down.
What do you want?
Another one down. Dead. Dead. Okay. I think we're making progress. Yeah, there's a guy up there. That's good. Whew. Okay. Oh man, keep on going. There's a lot of guys there. I want to avoid that group. Basically a camp full of them. Can I avoid them? Looks like I can. They weren't kidding about it being a mile south. It literally is, isn't it? Uh-oh. Danger there. Of course it's in Apollonia. The most innavigable part of the entire area. We're almost here. Right here. Right. And this little cleft, I think, right? Yeah, here we go. Whew. Alright. Progress. I really want to finish this. We've been locked in plot for like, what, 3 weeks now? 4 weeks?
Catherine sent me. Things got a bit complicated.
Alright. Good night, Grace. Understand. It is late. It's like 1 a.m. for us, right? Atlantic time, or whatever it is. He got his armor back at least. It's decently nice. That's good. Just 1 point. Yeah, man. I don't blame you. Good night. I'm almost done. I'm almost done, I swear. I swear I'm almost done. I hope. I actually don't know. I'm not going to swear to that. I'm going to hope. Oh, man. Oh, that is gorgeous, though. Look at that. Look at that. Goodbye. For now.
Carry straight on to Yuchin. The merchant road will take you right to Kuttenberg.
Well, you're not coming with us?
No. I have to go back to Razik and Hanush.
I mean, that's actually honestly
tell them what's
smart.
being planned and what happened to Lord Capon. Like, it's high time you got going. Watch out for yourselves. Especially you, Henry. I don't have to come back and look for your body again.
I'll do my best.
Look, if you find yourself stuck, look for Sir Odorin of Rabosh and give him this ring. He'll help you.
Odorin of Rabosh.
Even if he's not too happy about it.
Not too happy. Great. He's going to hate me.
Godspeed!
I hope you don't have to rag on me that hard. I shouldn't be another half hour plus, but... I also frankly don't want to go that late. It's late for me. Henry, don't fall asleep in this saddle. It's a bad idea.
So,
finally got him. How does it feel?
The peaceful music and the red is...
I said!
How does it feel?
Ah. Yeah, that's...
Do you really think you could get rid of me? No, no, dear boy. You and I still have a lot of work to do.
No, you're in hell now. It's fine. Don't worry about it. See, that was an actual real danger. I'm really glad that I did the dishonorable thing there, frankly. He was not exactly an honorable man.
Are you hurt?
Mr. Furlow called. He wants his hat back. I mean, the chaperone was actually a relatively common thing to wear. But late Middle Ages.
You fell asleep. Are you all right?
Yeah, try not to do that. Here we have the next region. Oh. Very cool. Very, very cool. Suchtol. Okay. Like I said, I do kind of want to finish this too.
We'll reach Suchtol shortly. If those woodcutters by the forest weren't making it up.
I'm tired and starving.
They look pretty frightened.
Well, are you surprised? The captain here looks like the one-eyed demon of vengeance. I'd take to my heels myself.
Aye. Us cyclopses are good at frightening women and children.
Starving over here.
do
Like,
without that
oh
gift.
man, it's cut off.
Your eye will get better with time.
I can't.
You're lucky you didn't
eat.
lose it altogether.
That remains to be seen.
Or not seen.
Anyway,
Can't open my
it's not my eye that did it. Sigismund is riding roughshod over the country, so the people are cautious. I can't blame them.
If it was only Sigismund. The devil is just as bad.
I thought we'd sorted all this out. He's no saint, not by any means. But he is an ally of the king. And my friend.
Who is?
The dry devil.
Lord Hinek of Kunstadt. Burgrave
Oh,
of
that guy.
Snoimo Castle. A great warrior. And at this moment a guest of the Lord of Suchtol.
Why do they call him the Dry Devil, anyway?
You can ask him yourself when you see him.
Sounds
I don't know why he's dry, but I know exactly why they call him devil.
Can you give it a rest? I don't need you insulting him before I get a word in.
Great. So I'm to keep my mouth shut, eh?
Say what you like, just don't go bugging the devil. At least for a while. That's all I'm asking.
What happens after we get to Suchtol?
We'll find out soon enough.
Ain't gonna see ya.
The
He's
main
got an
thing we
important
have
visit.
to hope for is that the local lord will even receive us.
Who is that?
Sir Peter of Pisek, Mint Master to King Wenceslas himself. Very important man.
I bet he can't wait for us to ride into his courtyard.
We don't look too impressive, that's true.
I mean, I should.
I'm hoping Dry Devil will
Not with
put
what
in
I'm
a
wearing,
word
but-
for us.
And what's your plan after that? We have to save Sir Hans.
Don't worry, we'll get to that, if it's not too late.
Hopefully it won't be. He's a noble, so they'll ransom him.
I don't know. His uncle has a reputation for being a pinch person. Do you know him, Henry?
Yeah. Well, I don't know where you heard that from. He was always kind to me.
Oh, but that's all by the by anyway. I intend to wage war, not parley. And if I know Dry Devil, he's of the same mind.
Won't it be dangerous for us hands?
It will, and for us too. But I'm sure Lord Capon is expecting that. He rode to Trotsky as a messenger to Von Berg.
Oh, interesting cutoff there.
Long last.
Nice, small, but very nice castle. I believe this is the one from the opening cutscene, if I remember correctly. Not cutscene, the opening scene, I guess I should say. Very nice, I like it.
Gate's wide open.
Is that odd? Should they not be? Are they expecting trouble? The drawbridge is even down. Wow, okay.
Watered, fed, saddled, first thing. Understand?
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to.
Greetings. What's your business here?
The blessing of our Lord Jesus Christ, sir.
Amen.
I expect your Peter Pisek. I am Jan Žižka of Trocnov. I have an important message for your guest, Hinek of Kunstadt. Actually, for you two.
A message for the Dry Devil?
Well now, Captain Žižka. And young Henry.
That is a
Margrave
crown.
I'm afraid your friend Hinek is no longer here. But I'd love to know what brought you two together. But also, what the hell happened to you?
Well, sir...
Unfortunately, I'm otherwise occupied at the moment. Get some rest. You're clearly in
Didn't
dire
expect to see
need
him
of
here.
it. We'll talk tomorrow. Sir Peter, please, take care of our guests.
Yes, sir.
Let's go!
He's all we needed.
You must be tired and hungry after your journey. Follow me.
Okay.
You have a very fine fortress, my lord.
Okay, that's it. I'm out. It's 12:30. We're gonna have to do more of this later. So, I think that's all we've got time for, and I'm not going to be able to pick it up in between streams. I did want to do some exploring of the Kuttenberg region off stream, I admit, but I guess I'm not going to be able to. That's fine, I guess. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining me. I know we went a little late tonight, but that's okay. We'll be back as usual on Tuesday, once again here. But then also, I have officially made the decision we are going to be playing Clair Obscure Expedition 33 on Thursdays from now moving forward until we finish this one and we finish that one. So expect that on Thursday. So it is Thursday's French day, I suppose. It is French JRPG existentialism day, so that'll be fun. I think it's going to be good. I've heard wonderful things about the game. I've heard almost nothing negative about it, really, which is quite something. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. Hope to see you guys next time on Thursday. Then again, right back here on Tuesday. Check the description and Discord for some of the stuff we were talking about, particularly because there was a bunch of topics that came up that I didn't have, that, people jumped in and out, not just Imson, but in general. But anyway, until next time, thanks again. See you then. And remember, don't be safe. Be well. More importantly, be good. Good night, folks.